What up, everybody, and welcome to the show of hurt feelings, disagreements, debate, and controversy. It is the House of Havoc Top 10. Today we have the artist formerly known as Anthony Alessino, the smooth criminal Brian Castiglione, and the mullet-wearing, cold-take sharing Jack Hockenjos. And last but certainly not least is your boy, the Dean Malenko of podcasting, the man of 1,000 nicknames, Jimmy Hockenjos. Today, we are doing the top 10 hip-hop projects released in the 2010 to 2019 decade. For anyone who might be curious, project encapsulates an EP, an LP, an album, or a mixtape. I don't know. Does anyone have an EP on here? I don't.
No.
Definitely not, dude.
Yeah, I have no EPs.
No, I don't actually.
It's funny. My list only contains studio albums.
I believe mine does.
Mine does not.
I have a couple of mixtapes on the whole thing. So this one's gonna be difficult because this was a really good decade for hip hop. I mean, not the best, right? Because a lot of people say 2000 to 2009 is arguably one of the best.
I think this is a time where hip hop and rap started to branch out of just the boom clap and the rapping, and we were focusing more on like production and things like that. So I think the rapping stayed, not that it stayed the same, it definitely got better, but I think people were more focused on making it sound good rather than just being boom clap, boom clap. You know, we'll rap over this for a couple bars and then go into a hook or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it probably is one of the best decades, to be honest.
It's so good.
I mean, I'm older, so it's hard to say. I feel like a lot of things coming out recently don't really match it. That might just be because
do you think they
the bias, but
now? So let me preface with this: I'm on the show, obviously, quite a lot. I'm being a trooper here, and it's not that I don't like hip hop. I just don't listen to it like that. So for me, you're gonna get the most basic, kind of like how we did the last one with the Pokemon.
Listener?
Right. Well, yeah, I'm not.
I know me.
No record player. I don't listen through an album. I don't like things of that nature. They just don't happen
for me. And I know I think I can speak for Brian too. When a new album, tape, whatever comes out, I listen to it straight through, start to finish. For my first listen, I won't always listen to them like that. But when the first 3 listens, I listen straight through, start to finish, the way it was designed to be listened to.
Right.
By the
and I don't. And I don't think I've ever. I think I have a few, very, very select few times I have, and so I think you're going to get a very. I'm probably going to skew the end results for us because you're going to get a very basic understanding of hip hop as a whole here. But that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Honestly, and it is fine because, and I think it's good. We have Jack here also, so Jack is coming from a different time.
Oh yeah,
time
a different generation. Yeah, right.
And also music is subjective, so it's really just a matter of
100%
how you view it.
So now,
like that.
Going off of what you were saying, I feel like nowadays, I feel like in the last 10 years, or not even the last 5 years, they've overvalued the production aspect of it. Like they've gone over the top, I feel like, with some of the stuff that they've been doing. And I think that's what makes it difficult for me. And I think they've also gotten away from like legitimate verses. Like legitimate, like things have meaning. I feel like there's much less meaning in the music. And that's a very baseline, basic interpretation of it, for me.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Well, I'm sure you'll see in some of our top 10s, a lot of the lyrically albums that are dense, at least in my list, were all falling towards the top, strictly based off of
See, I feel like I have that, and then I feel like I definitely value some production value.
Yes
up top
and no.
too.
In my top 5, I have a little bit of very deep, very dense, and very just this is
right.
what
It's
it
just
is,
smacks.
So,
at the end of the day,
before you go, I just wanted to preface this. If you're new to the show, welcome to the show. If you're new, you wouldn't know this. So this decade for me and Alessino is ages 17 through 26. For Brian, 18 through 27. For Jack, it's 8 through 17.
Yeah.
So yours should be drastically different, unless
should in theory be significant.
Unless you're cultured, unless you put in the time.
Well, here's the thing: as everyone says, music is subjective, right? I did my very best in order to take both worlds, like the music you guys listen to, I grew up with and I love too. So I took the very best of my ability to combine the two of what I listen to now and what you guys listen to, and kind of meet in the middle somewhere of albums that I love. So that's what I tried to do.
So in my top 10, I feel like I have 6 or 7 artists.
That's
so-
that's fine.
So I'm just saying. So that's
So for me, the top 10 almost turned into I didn't want to rank people twice in the list, so it almost turned into which albums out of these artists that were made do I think is the best for this time? Because there's a lot of, I mean, I'll make this case later,
Yeah.
but there's a lot.
Yeah.
there's
You know what I'm
one guy
saying?
I couldn't do that with.
There's one guy
There's
I
one
couldn't
guy you
do that
couldn't,
with,
yeah.
but I did do it with.
I might be on the same page
I
as him,
didn't.
depending on who we're talking about.
All right.
So,
As we always start, and again, I could be the only one who has one. Dishonorable mentions.
I don't have any. I tried to
I
think
don't
of any,
have
but
any. Yeah.
I mean, so listen.
But there's a billion of them.
This
But if you
is-
go to,
This
but-
is obviously an emotional show. We're scoring everything emotionally, not critically. Because if we're sitting up here critically, I would never say what I'm about to say. Chances are it might be on someone's list in this room. Believe me, I know it. I hear you. The Life of Pablo, 2016, Kanye West. For me personally, I think it's the beginning of the end of Kanye, as we know it. It's the first not great Kanye
Yeah.
album in a series of not great Kanye
I
albums.
happen to like some of the songs on that album.
I happen to like some of that songs
I
on the
think
album
I
also,
w-
to be honest.
I listened to it 3 times, like I do with every album, and after that, I don't think I've heard a song off of The Life of Pablo since.
I
since it
like
came
3 or
out.
4 for sure. Like, and it didn't make my honorable mentions, so it's not the best. But I think we've all been a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for with Kanye? It's very, when every album is just so diabolically good and
So,
invested in.
I think the thing
up
is,
until
is-
that point.
And we
Right.
grew up in a time where, like you're saying, Kanye West was consistently getting better. Not like getting better, but setting the bar for
Every
everybody
single
else that was
time.
there.
For production value,
So
for
Hawk
this,
might
for
be
that.
right. Life of Pablo might just be Kanye gets older. Now he's doing fashion. Now we're starting a
Yeah.
family. Music might be taking a back seat.
You could totally tell that for sure. But I think it's like, if you take that album and you pull it aside from every other album and you just look at it just by itself, you're like, well, that's a decent album. That's a pretty good album. But when you go and compare it to ones that, like I said, like Brian said, raise the bar every time, that's where I feel like you get pretty critical. You know what I mean? Where you're like, oh, well, this is nothing compared to that. I get
Well,
it.
that would be.
I'm
fine.
okay with it.
That would be fine because that happens. Any artist that's around long enough
Is gonna
eventually
fall.
releases that album. It's what I've always said. I know it's not original about Biggie and Tupac. They didn't live long enough to fall. That's why they get
Right.
remembered as the greats. Because what 23 and 25 when they
Uh,
passed.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
I think Biggie was 23 and Pac was
Biggie
25.
was
I could
23.
be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, 23 or 24. But, like, that's the thing. So,
But my point was, sorry to cut you off. It didn't get better after that. Then what's after The Life of Pablo?
You had Ye after that. Yep.
Yeah,
Ye
Which-
and
which-
Jesus is King.
Yeah.
it never got better.
Ye
And then
wasn't
Donda.
bad.
And then
Donda's
Donda, and now
Jesus
Donda
Well,
too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
did not enjoy, and Donda I didn't really enjoy.
I did not like Donda.
You're
but
not gonna buy
no.
that stupid little MP3 player for Donda 2?
The stem player.
Yeah.
No, I
So,
wouldn't do that.
Just to wrap it up with The Life of Pablo, talking to people my age, they're like, it's a little bit of a jumbled mess, but I still love it. 'Cause I love Kanye. And I'm like, yeah, but didn't you say, like you like my Dark Twisted Fantasy better? Like, didn't you like that album better? Yeah, no, it's better. But, The Life of Pablo just has this thing to it. And I'm like, what? A mess? It's gross? Like your room?
I think for you, Jack, I think the reason probably your friends think it is because it's at least generational with your time. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy came out in 2011. You were what? How old are you, Jack? 12. Okay. So you can't really connect to what was going on kind of in
job.
that album, but Life of Pablo, maybe that's why. That's the only thing I could think of.
I think 2. But it could. I'll make a
Alright,
game time
alright.
decision.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing. We'll
You'll,
get to
well, you'll
it.
hear about it later.
All right. I don't have any dishonorable mentions.
So honorable mentions. We try to keep this segment to 3 to 5. This one was tough for most of us. I got it down to 20 total for my whole list, and I couldn't make any more cuts. So I have 10 honorable mentions. I'm gonna give 5 quick that are like the bubble teams, so to speak.
Okay.
Kids 2010, Best Day Ever 2011, both Mac Miller mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
Love them. They really connected with me. Couldn't make the list for obvious reasons. Just as far as it being a top 10 list of everything else that came out in that decade. Like, this is a very niche genre of rap that doesn't touch everybody. So loved it. Couldn't make the list. This one was just out of pure respect. I'm sure it's not the last time we're going to hear about it, so I'm not speaking on it too much. Nothing Was the Same, 2013 Drake. ONIFC, 2012 by Wiz Khalifa. This album, for me, I love it so much. When it came out, our friend Matt Oro burned me a copy of it, and it was the only car I had in my Saturn. The only CD I had in my Saturn for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then Forest Hills Drive, 2014, J. Cole.
Okay.
Those are my 5 bubble. I'll send it to Jack for. How many do you have?
I have 6, so I'll give you like 2 right now.
No, just give us
So-
the 6.
Yeah, just give us the 6.
All right. So one of my first honorable mentions is Zoo by Denzel Curry, which came out 2018.
Yeah,
Album
it's a good
slaps.
Yeah, that
Brian
is-
knows
yeah,
what it's
all right,
about.
That's a good
Good.
album.
Lost.
Yeah.
Sumo's-
Listen to it, bro. You won't be after
Sumo's
that.
on that
Denzel
album,
Curry's
right?
Sick. Yeah.
No, it's not Sumo, but it's
Sumo's not on that album?
No, it's
Sumo's on the
Speedboat.
other album. But that's a 6 song too.
And my next honorable mention is Professional Rapper by Lil Dicky.
Right on.
Okay, yeah.
Love that. You know, it's
I
a very
also
niche
had
thing.
that as as an honorable mention,
It's a very
which
niche
is so
thing.
fucking weird. Neat,
yeah.
yeah, exactly, 100%.
I got
No, don't want to go. Pass it on. One at
Oh,
a
we're just
time.
doing one honorable mention?
Yeah, I only did the first.
My bad, Jack.
I
I
don't-
only do all 6.
No. I did my first 5, and then I have my next 5 in order,
Oh.
like the actual.
Oh
honorable
Jesus.
mentions.
Okay. All right. So honorable mentions for me. I'll do 5. So I have DS2. I know it's gonna be on people's top 10. It didn't make it for me. Strictly due to the fact that DS2 popped on the scene. It was a brand new album, a brand new sound. I think Future's great. Everything that came out after it was not nearly as good as DS2. I think it's just a product of him making way too much music in such a small period of time. He releases like 3 albums a year. I think he just needs to take a little break. But don't get me wrong, I love DS2. I think it's a great album, and it barely cracked like top 10. Like, I put it at 10, out of 10, at 10, out of 10, probably 2 to 3 times. This next album, I don't know how this is going to go, or how. I don't think any of you have listened to it, but Anti by Rihanna, you wouldn't think is a good hip hop album, but it actually is pretty decent.
I actually have listened.
I
It's
haven't.
the last album she put out. She hasn't put one out since then, and it was really
when,
good.
what year did that come out? It
That
was early.
2016.
Yeah,
it was
well,
my first
okay.
year of Swigo, so 2016.
Yeah, it's been a while.
3, I just put 2 albums together because they're essentially the same thing, but both Long Live and Live Love ASAP albums by ASAP Rocky were both really good. Same situation with Future here. Everything he put out after was not nearly as good as both these albums, but I really hope he makes a good album because he's actually a really good artist. Just the last few albums he's came out with have not been that good. Run the Jewels 2 by Killer Mike, and I can't remember the DJ's name.
Yeah, it's Run the
Um,
Jewels. That's the name.
But
there.
Run the Jewels
group.
2 is such a good album. And if anyone doesn't listen to Run the Jewels, you definitely should. All 4 albums are great. And then last one, couldn't put it on the list because there's no rapping. It's more of a hip-hop production. But Cosmogramma and Until the Quiet Comes by Flying Lotus are both great
okay.
instrumental hip-hop albums. The main reason I had to put them on here is a lot of the albums that you guys listen to, whether it be like Faces with Mac Miller, some of the Kendrick Lamar, Flying Lotus does a lot of production on some of these tracks, and you don't even realize it until you kind of listen
They
to
work-
his music, and then you hear what it sounds like in other people's music.
They work with Thundercat or no?
Flying Lotus is actually Thundercat is signed to Flying Lotus's record label,
Right.
Brain Feeder. Brain Feeder used to do the music for Adult Swim. That's how Flying Lotus became what he is now. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my first 5 honorable.
All right, so I have 6 in total. So where do
So
you?
just give me one.
Okay, this is the honorable mention to the honorable mention, but I have to do it because I was looking up some stuff on it. Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B.
All right, so it's funny because I never listened to that album, but when I was researching it, people love that
It is
album.
the
It's,
number.
like, critically
it is the
acclaimed,
number
like,
one sold
super-
album,
Yeah.
and for that reason, it needs to go up here.
Mhm.
Like I think we sometimes forget where she came from a
Right.
a small time. I think is that VH1. What is
I don't even know her story. to be
Atlanta
honest with
Love
you.
and Hip
She was
Hop?
on Love and Hip Hop.
I don't watch
Atlanta.
those shows.
I think that's VH1.
Yeah, VH1. No, me neither. But that's what I'm saying.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
Yeah, so
okay.
from VH1 Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop, where I'm gonna. What the
Sorry,
heck?
that was Siri. She was gonna.
Yeah, Siri's crazy.
Siri's
It's not
trying
a
to
big
get
deal.
in. She's
She
like-
wanted to put her list into
Yeah,
it.
dude,
She
chill.
likes Cardi
She
B.
said Nicki forever.
So yeah,
Is
exactly.
that what she said?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So for that reason, and obviously, Bodak Yellow was in there. So
Okay. Yeah.
for that reason, it's the honorable mention to the honorable mention. Go ahead.
All right, my first honorable mention is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's 2010.
All right.
It's tough.
It's gross, dude. It's gross.
You don't like that album?
No, it's gross that it's a non-honorable
all right. I was
mention.
gonna say.
What were you saying with
It's fine. Go
I
ahead.
got-
I just put a comment on it, and that's it. We'll leave it.
No, well, it's what we were saying before. It's not the last time I'm talking about Ye.
Right.
And this was Dark Twisted Fantasy started in the top 5 and then just eventually started dropping out because I was kind of Ye heavy in
Gotcha.
a
Okay,
way.
I get it.
So, again, this was so hard for me. This is the N64 was the previous hardest list I've ever had to make. This one is way harder.
Yeah.
Pokemon did not take this much time. And, dude, I bought Apple Music, subscribed to Apple Music to do the proper listening and studying over the last week and a half to make sure that I did all of my, due diligence and wasn't going off of a listen to something I haven't heard in 6-7 years. That's it. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get to it, so I'll let you guys talk about it later. Jack?
So for my number 4, because I gave you 2, I got Stoney by Post Malone.
Good album.
Good album.
Yeah,
White
good album.
Iverson, congratulations. Definitely. I think
Good
that's the
summer album.
technical
Yeah,
first
great
studio
summer
album he
party
put
album.
out.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good start to a career.
And I'll give you the last 3 I have on here. This one also not so much a hip hop album, but Control. If anyone knows Control by SZA, that is a great album. She's another R&B artist who's really good. And the last 2, I don't even really like Pusha T that much, but Daytona by Pusha T was a
good album.
sick album. And also I couldn't come to terms with putting it on the list, but I have to put it on the honorable mentions. Based on a True Story by 2 Chainz was
Yo,
one
I
of the
thought about it.
best albums released in the 2010s, but I couldn't come to terms with putting it in the list. But it's a great album. Great album.
I thought about it too. It was just I was getting too high. I'm like, I was getting
Yeah.
too in terms of numbers on the list.
Right.
I'm like, nah, we just gotta
All right.
cut the fat.
So here's what I'm gonna say. Obviously, Little Dicky's album. We both had that on there.
Professional rapper.
Yep. Now here's what I'll say. I went as an artist because I couldn't choose which one. It's an honorable mention, so it's okay.
Okay.
Some part of Tyler the Creator needed to be on the honorable mention,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
and I just didn't know which one I wanted to do, so I chose a variation of them all. And
Okay.
he just I wanted to do Igor, but a lot of people have a problem with that, right? How do you feel about that? That's not your favorite one.
He's gonna tell you. He
I
loves
like
it.
Igor,
Yeah.
but
Flower Boy?
I like all. Tyler
Yeah.
the Creator is one of my favorite rappers.
No, I know.
But
I just
I don't want to get too much into it because it is on my list.
Okay. All right, that's
But
fine.
Yeah,
Hold
me
on.
too.
Igor, though, I'll tell you, I could get why people aren't okay with it because it wasn't really a hip hop album. It was
Right.
really more of this. There was a certain point I'll kind of get into like more of it later, but he's not really making hip hop music so much anymore, except for the last album where he was like, I'm just gonna rap for 48
Right,
minutes
right,
straight.
right.
That
That
was
was
a
the
whole
last album.
Call Me If You Get Lost,
Oh,
where he
right.
literally just rapped for 48 minutes straight, and it's great. But yeah, another great album. But
all right. So that's that.
So the 2 of you have already spoken about it. My next one's professional rapper Little Dicky. In my opinion, technically, stylistically, the 3rd best white rapper ever to live behind Eminem and Paul Wall. And I would argue he might be technically better than
Mac
Paul.
Miller. Mac Miller.
Technically, stylistically, I think Little Dicky's better than Mac
I
Miller.
want to fucking
As a
eat this
rapper.
microphone.
As a rapper. And I love Mac
No,
Miller.
I don't even. I'm not even debating the Little Dicky. I'm.
Don't look
maybe
at
I'm
me, dude. I didn't say
Maybe
it.
I'm uncultured, but Paul Wall ain't it for me, dog.
Paul Wall's pretty cool.
He's
But
cool.
I don't think he's better.
He's
than Mac
cool.
Miller.
I would like to drink
Look,
a Old English 40
I-
with him, but jeez.
Mac Miller is up there too. But I think I think like
I was never a Mac Miller fan.
technically speaking, as a rapper, if you peel back the Lonely Island aspect of it and the fact that he's making a lot of jokes, you listen to the bars and the
100
double entendres and shit that he
100%,
says,
I agree with that.
it makes my brain go, what?
100%, I agree with that. And I didn't never like Mac Miller.
Mhm.
Now, when we
You
come,
used to hate Mac
when we
Miller.
come back around,
Yeah, I'll talk about that.
when we come back around, I have one honorable mention of Mac Miller, but I was never really like one of those like diehard Mac Miller guys.
Right.
And there were so many. Go ahead.
So here's kind of where the controversy starts a little bit. But I have Culture 2 by Migos, which is 2018. That album, there's a lot of songs.
It's an
on it
honorable
that,
mention,
like,
so I'll allow it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not.
there's a lot.
I
of
don't need you to.
songs that
I also
slap
don't
on
need
it.
you to tailor what you like to us as the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, just if you like it, hey, that's it, and that's the point of you being 10 years younger.
It's also
you know
a
what I
part
mean?
of my generation, too,
Right.
where like Migos is the shit.
Right,
Like, we
and
fuck
that's
with Migos.
fine, and that's fine. But I'd rather know that than you change your opinion because there's guys that are older than you. You know, that's the
100%.
point of this. You know.
100%.
Oh, you're done with honorable
That was my
mentions,
whole list, but I mean, the only other one I could think of more relevant to Jack. Actually, I don't want to say because it might be on his list. But are there any other albums I could think of? I probably could, but I'm blanking right now.
It's fine.
I mean, watching movies with the sound off isn't on my list. Great album. Probably the album that got me into Mac Miller. I didn't like him initially when he first started rapping, but once he got out of the like college rap about drinking parties and stuff like that, and started rapping about being in the rap game and getting better, that's when I really started liking Mac Miller. So, watching movies
Swimming,
with the sound
Faces,
off,
Circles,
yeah,
that stuff.
Spinning, Faces, Circles, all those albums. Both those. Good AM, also
Good
another
AM's a good one.
good one. Would probably put on my honorable mentions.
So I'll just run through my honorable mentions and just finish them off. I have
Cool.
3 left.
Yeah, I got 3 more too.
4 left. All right, Mac Miller, Swimming.
Yeah.
Kanye, Yeezus.
Good album.
Great album.
I'm losing control. Oh, the Carter 4,
Good album.
Lil Wayne. And that was one of the ones where I was like, could it do it? But probably not. And then the last one, which I guarantee no one would even have this in an honorable mention, but for me, I don't know. I just like it. Kids See Ghosts.
Kids See Ghosts was
Kids
a
See
good
Ghosts
album.
is
It was
a
a
good
nice
album,
little project.
Yeah, I don't think it was an album, right? I think that was the
No,
only
it was more
one.
like an EP.
Yeah.
Right.
It was weird because like him, Nas, and Kanye all dropped albums produced by Kanye like all in the same week.
Yeah.
That
So
year, so-
I
I
actually
remember that being.
I like
crazy.
that.
Yeah, they were
I
like, we're
really
making
like-
3 7-song albums and they're all coming out in the same week, and they were like, okay.
yeah, and I really like Kid Cudi too. So go ahead.
I just want to say this now. When he came up with the Igor thing, lo-fi is not for me. Would you consider Igor lo-fi? It is lo-fi-esque, right?
I think Tyler the Creator uses a lot of aspects in his production that are lo-fi, but I wouldn't consider it lo-fi hip hop.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
but I get where you
there's
could.
there's
it
going
sounds
to
like
be
it.
no lo-fi on my list. So
There's no lo-fi on mine either.
Brockhampton. I mean, I kind of consider.
Even though, that's another honorable mention for me. Brockhampton.
Yeah.
All 3 saturations. Everything else kind of. But
So with that being said, here are my final 3 honorable mentions. And again, look, it was tough. They just at the end of the day they didn't make the cut. 2013 because the internet. Childish Gambino. 2017 Damn Kendrick.
Oh,
Now
God.
this is just one of those things. I scored Kendrick against Kendrick.
So did I.
I scored Kendrick against
Yeah,
Kendrick.
so did
so
I.
it is what it is. And then this one for me bounced between 7 and being off the list so many times. 2011 Childish Gambino's debut studio album Camp. Now
Really good.
we had already knew who Donald Glover was
Right.
without realizing who he was because we loved Derek comedy middle school through high school. I remember you and Gage came to me. They're like, "Oh, that guy from Derek comedy is a rapper."
Yep.
And I started consuming all of the I Am Just a Rapper tapes, his EP,
So good.
everything he did. And then a few months later, Camp comes out. And Camp was, I don't want to say Camp is responsible for hip hop for me because it's not. It's really Eminem and Outkast that are responsible for my love of hip hop. But Camp is like responsible for the rebirth of the diving deep, balls deep into it, like
Right.
post high school into college. And there's just the bars on this album and the shit he says makes me think. It made me think like, holy shit, you could say that. Like
Right.
the one verse from Sunrise, it goes, she stayed down like that new coat that I bought her, and them fly Rihanna girls be drinking my coconut water, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
mean,
at her
there's-
butt. That's that 2020 hindsight. My shit be Jackson, Jordan, Bolton, Keaton, Tyson, 5 mics.
Yeah, and like you said, there's shit all over like that, all over that album.
all over it.
I was trying to put Camp in my top 10 too. I couldn't really do it, but I loved Camp because, like you were saying, I listened to it the other day, and a lot of what I realized is similar to what you were saying. It was when he first became a rapper. The whole mixtape is riddled with all these people doubting me. I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna do this and do that. You know, like, and it's
And in
it
camp,
is a
he's
huge theme.
rapping
for-
about
he's rapping about
s-
going away to camp and meeting the girl.
sitting
at the
in
end.
bed in between my
Right.
mom and my aunt, playing with the Slam Before Time toy from Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
and living in the fucking ghetto basically. And
Yeah.
how once he got out, everyone looked down on him and all this shit. I wanted it in the top 10 really badly. Couldn't do it.
I
It
get it.
just barely makes it.
So I have 2 more honorable mentions. One I have Uzi versus the World, which is 2016. It's a flagship for my generation. I like it. I started listening to Uzi then. I still listen to him to this day. And this is the real controversy right here. I have To Pimp a Butterfly on the honorable mentions.
Oh my god.
Well, listen.
Don't love it.
Let's
Look,
let me.
look. I'm gonna let you defend yourself. Just know that I'm upset.
I'm upset with you too, bro. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Don't worry about it over there. The reason To Pimp a Butterfly is on the honorable mentions is for one specific reason. There's a better album. And, also I didn't listen to To Pimp a Butterfly like when it came out in 2015. I wasn't there. But when
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there, dude. But when I went back and listened to it, I was like, yo, I get it why people say, oh, this is the best rap album of all time. I get it. But I disagree. And that's the beautiful part about music, is that it's subjective.
All right. Listen, one more I just forgot. Acid Rap.
Okay.
By Chance the Rapper. Okay, that's it. I think we're done. Are
You want
good?
to start as 10?
Yeah, my number 10, it's been briefly spoken about already. Again, bounced from 10 to out, from 10 to out with Camp. Dirty Sprite 2, Future, 2015. Where you at? Fuck up some commas,
Yep.
stick talk.
Stick talk,
That's all I
baby.
gotta say, dude.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of the stuff you said about the mumble rap sound is true.
No,
Generally,
that's not what I was saying.
about the sound and the style.
Future
of the
put out the sound. He definitely was the first one to kind of put it forward and push it out there, but it hasn't changed much since then.
right.
DS2 was a great album, though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's those
Jack,
three,
do you want to go? Or you want
those
me to go?
three singles plus the sound and like it's a good smoking sound, right? Would you disagree with that?
I get what you're saying.
It's a
yeah,
good-
it's atmospheric. It's
Yeah.
kind of like yeah.
So that's all I really have to say as far as it. Number 10, Dirty Sprite 2.
All right, here we go. Number 10, and like I said, if you guys want to help me, like
Go ahead,
define
go
the
ahead.
album, that's great. Number 10, Take Care, Drake.
Yo, number 10, Take Care, Drake. Me too, also. So I'll tag team you on this one.
Nice, love it.
So I have
Marvin's
number 10
Room was
at
the number one reason
Marvin's
why.
Room. All right, go ahead. You list your favorite songs.
All right, so I had Marvin's Room, Take Care, and Hell Yeah, Fucking Right.
Okay, so my favorite songs were gonna be Crew Love. This is
And the motto.
And the motto is a good song. Crew Love is a great song. Also is not when Weeknd really made his first debut, but when people started really to learn about the Weeknd. He hadn't really been on too much before. Now he's featured in Drake's second album. So people were like, what is this song?
Who
This
is this
song
guy?
is great. Who is this guy? Weeknd kind of started popping up. Loved Crew Love. The intro to the album, Over My Dead Body, is sick. He's like initially sets the theme out. You know it's going to be a song about an album rather about like a love story, him trying to get with this girl and everything like that. I think it's a great intro. And my other favorite songs, I did like Headlines. It was a single. I'm not really a big singles guy in terms of like when albums come out, but I thought that song was sick. Yeah, I mean, it came out in 2011. It leaked 9 days before. It wound up getting released, I think, with 2 extra songs that weren't supposed to be on the album, but I'm pretty sure they got released in the leak. So he was like, I'll just throw them on there anywhere.
Well, then they're
Anyway,
going
and that's
on.
going to be, what was the last 2? I think it's called The Ride, and then there's one other one at the end. I love this album. When it first, I was one of the people that got the leak. I'm just going to say that.
I don't think anybody's coming
I thought it was great. Not going to go too much into it, but just some things I found out about it while I was looking into it. It's ranked 95th on Rolling Stone's currently updated list of 500 greatest albums of all time.
Wow.
I mean, that's Rolling Stone, that's pop culture, so take it,
Take it with
for
take
what it is, but
right.
it was the reason why Drake won his first Grammy as a rap artist was for Take Care. So
All right, so I'm glad I'm on this. I'm
I'm
kinda
glad
there.
you came in with that.
All right, good. I feel that makes me feel a lot
That was
better.
nice. That was
All
nice.
right, good. What do you got for 10?
So at number 10, I have Meet the Woo 2019, which is Pop Smoke's first album.
Okay.
And you'll find another rapper for your generation that compares to this, but everybody I know who's like a friend of mine, like my age, they listen to Pop Smoke.
Don't speak out of pocket.
I'm not
I
not
fuck
speaking.
with Pop
no,
Smoke.
I know
No,
you
people
fuck with
fuck with
Pop.
I fuck
Oh,
with
no,
Pop Smoke.
100%.
People fuck with Pop Smoke. And the thing is,
Well, here's the thing. I fuck with New Yorkers, dude.
A lot of fuck. There's a lot of fucks being thrown around, dude.
I
I
fuck with New
fuck with
York.
Pop Smoke, dude.
I fuck with New Yorkers, dude. So
Definitely.
first of all,
I get
R.I.P.
it,
to the young legend.
and that's
Go
the
on.
problem. And that's the
So-
problem. That's it. That's it. That's the most we're getting from him, right?
Well, he's dead.
I understand that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So-
his album.
Go ahead.
So recently, this album just got platinum certified, and 50 Cent was emotional on Twitter. But that's besides the point. My favorite songs off this album, you got Meet the Woo, Dior, and Welcome to the Party. Yeah. I mean,
She like the way that I woo.
yeah, she do. Pop Smoke, you can't say a lot because he's dead now, but he slaps, dude. He slaps. He's a generational staple.
Generational staple?
No, I agree with Jack.
No,
It
no,
would've
he's-
been
he's not
interesting
wrong.
To see where it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see. I don't know if
he's
he.
gonna be
fucking trash.
Pop
but-
Smoke, dare I say it? Now, don't internet, don't come after me. I'm not saying comparing them as in terms of skill.
Just go for it.
He's gonna be the Big L of his generation, the greatest what
Exactly.
could have been.
Eh.
You don't think so? A lot of
Dude,
people
there are a
say-
lot of people
lot of-
that fucking not.
A lot of people say Big L could have been
I'm
the
not
greatest.
complaining.
How do you say his name? XXX.
If you're looking at it that
That's
way,
what I mean.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd be. If you're talking about what could have been,
I'm
then
saying,
yes.
yeah, it's the greatest
Big L
story of
and-
what
and
could have
Pop Smoke are
been.
nothing.
Not on the same
Okay,
level.
okay.
No. I'm saying in terms of it being the greatest story.
What
that
if
could
the
have
biggest
been,
what
I
if?
got you. Yes.
That's Pop Smoke for
That's
this generation.
probably how this was. Yes. For the
That's
current time,
that's what
I
I'm trying
got
to
you.
convey here.
I agree.
Anything else?
I mean, just because I don't have any more Pop Smoke on here. There's a song that came off of the most recent album that got put out after he died. It's called "Tell the Vision," and it's got Kanye on it as like a producer, and it's got a clip from I think a Breakfast Club interview, and it's I'm forgetting who it is. It's one of the newer female rappers talking about how Pop Smoke was just in Brooklyn, and it was just like a live interview, and it gave me chills. Like, and I get chills to this day. I'm like, damn, this guy really.
This
He
guy-
would
this
have
guy
taken,
was
Was
really
that-
from
would have
Brooklyn.
taken it.
Was
all.
that a
This
postpartum?
guy was from
Posthumous? Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have been like.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like, correct me if I'm wrong. Twista is on that album, or am I wrong about that? There's a lot of like they took stuff that he recorded and finished the album after he was gone.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So a lot of people featured to finish the. Sometimes it's just Pop Smoke doing the hook and then two other guys doing the verses.
Oh, okay.
Cuddy's on the album.
Cuddy's on the album. Yeah, it's a lot of people on the album. So we're back to me for 9.
Back to you.
Yeah.
My number 9 is Goblin by Tyler the Creator, 2011. At the time, very different. And that's kind of what.
What are your favorite songs?
from Goblin?
Yeah.
Her's the Frank Ocean one.
Yep.
Her for sure. Obviously Yonkers. Transylvania is one of my
Great
favorites.
song. Probably my favorite song.
Transylvania is
Transylvania's
great. Sandwiches isn't on that, right? That's,
Yes.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah. Sandwiches and this is one of those albums that's no skips for me. She's the other one, right? She and Her both.
There's
Her-
a She and Her.
She and Her,
You know
both
what?
of them.
She might be the Frank Ocean one.
She's the Frank
I
Ocean
think
one,
so.
and then Her is just Tyler. Her is the one when Tyler says the famous bar. At least I thought it was hysterical. I know that she's the key to love because she's who I'm thinking of when I'm beating Richard up.
Yeah.
Incredible, dude. Transylvania obviously is a great one. Cunt will be bleeding, but that's not from the time signature of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
Yeah, dude.
He was.
But I was watching something on him of how he started and how they kind of went about it. It's pretty nuts that they started on Jimmy Fallon.
Mhm.
Jimmy Fallon gave him the first run, and they were backstage, and Jimmy Fallon was like, "You guys you're doing this, like you're coming out and like this is what you're gonna sing, like," and they're like, "Yeah." And they took the world by storm, basically, in essentially, right? But what was the
Hold on.
group called?
So they
What
got
was
it
the
was
Future?
Odd
Odd
Future.
Future.
Odd
They got,
Future.
They got really big. They blew up on online forums.
Oh, yeah,
on
first,
Tumblr and
first,
stuff
yeah.
first. But yeah, Jimmy Fallon.
But he was the
like
first
their-
mainstream
Yeah.
opportunity for them. So 9 for me, or you
Yeah, I want to bitch suck dicks on Goblin, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Might be, yeah. I
You
think
bopping,
so.
bitch? Question mark.
I think it is. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
All right,
All right. Let's see.
number 9. I have
You don't have the same number 9 as me.
no way.
Yeah.
Takashi 6ix9ine, Dummy Boy.
Oh,
No, I'm
fuck.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just
Dude,
kidding.
You got me. I was like, you got this is
I
yours,
didn't
dude. I have
think-
nothing.
I'm just
I
kidding.
didn't think you would be the first person I'd want to super kick.
I'm just kidding.
That
It was
was
a
really
it was a
good.
fucking joke.
No, that was
the
good.
Carter 5.
Okay.
Now,
Alright, don't love that. But whatever.
no, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. But for me, this is one of the albums what he just said I can listen through the entire thing without stopping. So I mean, I don't know. Do you
Carter 5.
So
I mean,
Uproar, Mona Lisa.
Uproar was a great song.
That's the Green Ranger remix, right?
The song with Snoop Dogg was good too.
I'm not sure about that.
Uproar's the Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
Lil Wayne
What the
also
fuck,
did a
though?
song.
Swiss Beats, right?
named Green
Yeah,
Ranger.
Swiss Beats.
That's the
Okay,
same.
You can tell
so
by the way it
Swiss
sounds.
Beats, Dark Side of the Moon is Nicki Minaj and him. Mona Lisa is phenomenal, and that's Kendrick's in that. Like it goes on. Famous is good. I can't say the name of the song because it would be
The Snoop Dogg song.
It'd be culturally inappropriate. Yeah, I'm just saying. So it goes on and on. For me, like I said, I know I'm not gonna have the same list that you guys have. So for me, that's number 9.
Okay. All right. So number 9, I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But so my number 9 is gonna be. It's called The Money Store by a group called Death Grips. They are. You know about Death Grips for real? Do you really? Holy shit! I did not expect anyone to know
Not
that.
a lot, but I do know of Death
So Death Grips, it's experimental hip hop. It's a 3-piece group. There's MC Ride. He essentially raps over everything. It's really more of yelling than rapping. They have a keyboard player and then a drummer, and it is probably one of the most aggressive forms of music I think I've ever heard in my life. But it flows so great.
Hold on, more aggressive than
Um,
Stitches.
Probably in the same area. A little bit more musically put. Actually, a lot better musically.
No,
put together.
musically gifted is right.
This is actually good music.
But same
that's
aggression.
aggressive. Yeah.
Same
yeah.
aggression, but
So-
just actually talented.
What's crazy is that he is musically gifted. That's a choice he's making. Fucking
I-
But yeah,
100%.
so-
I agree 100%.
I truly think I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but Death Grips they released all their albums pretty much from 2010 to 2020. Every single one of them is good. Ex-Military is probably my most favorite. I went with the Money Store because it is probably the closest rooted to actual hip hop in terms of like because it's very
Okay,
experimental. But as far as like hip hop goes, this is probably the closest
Are
to
they
hip hop.
are they so I know nothing about. Are they
Mhm.
still around today?
It's funny. It's the big thing about them is they don't have much of an online presence, so they'll just drop music and you never even know what's gonna happen. They'll just show up and do things and you never know what's gonna happen. They might be broken up. No idea. They have
okay. So they're
they
very
literally
low-key.
like they dropped in their last album I think 2019, and Facebook nothing's updated since, so no one knows. Like that's just how they
Wow.
are. And then by the middle of this year, they could be like, we have an album coming out tomorrow. That's just
Wow.
how because the big thing is they're another big group that got big online. All their shit was leaking. Like as soon as they got it, it would just leak. So they're like, all right, no more leaks.
We'll just pull. Yeah, we'll just
Nothing's
go,
done
we'll
on,
just
the,
go
on the
radio
internet
silent.
anymore. It'll all be
yeah,
internal.
tactile.
So
Go ahead, Jack. Number 9.
Number 9, Long Live ASAP Deluxe version.
good job, Jay.
Double platinum album. It's the debut studio album for ASAP Rocky. Album slaps, dude. You got fucking Problems. You got Goldie. One Train.
problems. That is a very good album,
It is
and it's not in my top 10, but it's a very good
Yeah,
album.
it's not on
super
my either, but
slaps,
it's a good
dude.
one.
Super slaps.
I like ASAP a lot.
The boys always bump.
Is
into
LSD
that.
on that?
I don't think so. I think
No?
it's on the previous.
No, that's the next one.
What's
Okay.
the next one?
At
No.
Long Last ASAP.
Yeah, yeah.
2015.
But yeah, no, album slaps. Like Brian said, we're waiting for the what's next, dude.
Yeah.
I-
Testing was a
I won't-
disappointment.
Uh,
It was good. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean, I feel like obviously could have been better, but Long Live ASAP, just super slaps.
Great
Bump
album.
with the boys. That's about it. That's all I got.
Go ahead, number 8.
All right, my number 8 is our very own Gage Zangie from the Rewind. I believe
He made an album.
no.
I was about to say, what the hell do I don't know?
It's Gage.
Let me guess, Schoolboy Q.
No,
Oh,
I believe this is still to this day. Last time I spoke to him about it was his desert album. Like if he was stuck in a desert, could only have one album for the rest of his life, it would be this one. It's 2013's Acid Rap by Chance the Rapper.
honorable
Right
mentions?
around that time, 2013. That's the time where we're all in community college. And
I was done, but yeah.
well, yeah, we're at the college age.
Yeah,
all at home.
yeah.
Every party we were at for like a good year, eventually someone had a few too many beers in them, and they'd yell, "Put on the song about the juice." The juice from Acid Rap. Also, you don't remember that? Well,
No.
you wouldn't have been there. Every time we were at a party at Gage's house, someone would yell it.
Really?
Yeah, put on the song about the juice. Smoke Again with Absol is another good one. Just a good mixtape. I love Chance. Or I like this one a little bit more than I like Coloring Book.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just a preference thing at that point, I would guess. But this is just another one. Pretty much everyone on my list from this point forward, I could put it on no skips and be happy with it.
Okay. This one I can't. My 8, I can't. I wouldn't be able to play through, but that's just who I am as a person. Because the internet, Childish Gambino.
Yo, my number 8 is Because of the Internet by Childish Gambino.
Okay.
So you can go say your piece and then.
All right. So for me, it's World Star, Sweatpants, 3005. Those are the 3 big ones for me. I mean, what do you have?
I have my
Other
favorite
than
songs
those.
are going to be Sweatpants, 3005. And also, I do like Zealots of Stockholm is a great song.
Okay.
Oakland's a great song. There's a couple other songs I'm blanking on. Towards the end of the album, I forget the names because they start turning into like number, like acts
Yeah,
almost.
Axe, yep.
But yes,
Earn, Pink Toes, I have it up.
Pink Toe. Yeah, that's Earn's
Yeah.
the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
But yes, I love this album. I didn't know this. I don't know if you know this, but this album was actually primarily recorded in what he was calling the tempo, the temple. You ready for this? which was in Chris Bosch's mansion in his basement. The studio, the majority of this album was recorded in Chris Bosch's basement studio in Miami. That Childish Gambino
What
had
year was it?
dubbed the Temple. It came out in 2013.
Were they together? No, they weren't.
The big three.
They weren't together.
Yeah,
yet.
until
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah.
2010 to 2014.
That was
Oh, I
like
thought it
in
was
the
later
midst
than
of
that.
it. Yep.
No, it was
Oh,
2013,
really? So he was doing
Yeah.
it there. All right. So I
That's
believe that's his
two-time
best
champion
album.
Chris
I
Bosch's
believe that's
basement.
his best
I
album.
like Camp.
I did get into this with him about Camp, but I was going to bring this up too. This album here was much more of him, like the self-doubt, not being a rapper, not being good enough. It is completely gone. This album is completely like,
I would
No,
agree.
he
I am
turned
in
his
this.
swag on
We
for
are
that
doing
one.
this.
Yep.
I am on top. We are pushing out content that is better than what
And-
I feel is better than.
I believe
you
that,
know.
and I also believe it's the first time. Like, well, now people can make the argument that this was Camp too, but that like you heard something different. Like he found his own niche. Like this was it. Like that's
Right.
in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like 3005 is not, again, not my favorite song, but it's a song that like I can't really find not an equal, but you know what I mean? Like the same kind of sound.
Right.
It's few and far between that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And-
If you listen to 3005 and it's in your playlist, you're not gonna skip.
Right, but there's just some songs on here that I would, and that's just I mean, but that's just
it,
me.
yeah.
A lot of people could listen through.
Well,
So
the reason Camp was higher than because the internet on my honorable mentions list is because Camp I would pretty much no skip, and because the internet I would probably skip a few songs.
yeah, well, one time we were drinking at a bar, me and Jimmy, and there was karaoke, and he did Camp. He did what song from Camp?
Heartbeat.
It's Childish Gambino.
Homeboys
Uh,
drop it like
Bonfire.
the Nats.
Bonfire, right. He did Bonfire. Didn't miss one
I'm
word,
sure.
and people were around him screaming, dude, screaming.
That's another great bar. Move white girls like there's coke up my.
Hold
ass
on,
crack.
do you even remember what bar we were at?
Irish? Oh no.
No, come on. He remembers,
The one in Patchogue.
dude. Unbelievable. Brick House, unbelievable,
Oh,
dude.
God.
Guys from high school like fucking
Oh,
rallying around
God.
him out of nowhere.
Unlock the memory that I forgot. I had.
That was one of my favorite fucking. After that, I was like, I'm gonna be good friends with this kid forever. I'm like, that was cool. All right, you're up.
Number 8, we got Dirty Sprite 2.
Dirty
All right.
Sprite.
Dirty Sprite. Double platinum album, 3rd studio album for Future. You guys were all talk about all the common ones, but I Serve the Bass is a great
Oh, that's one of my.
song.
That's actually my favorite song now.
I serve the bass. I serve the bass. Yeah, I think we already said what needs to be said about Dirty Sprite 2. So I think we're good on that. But
Fair enough.
Number 7.
My,
Jimmy.
My number
If
7.
we have the same number 7.
I doubt it.
My number 7. Again, get upset. I don't care. It's gonna be what I consider the greatest Kanye West album ever recorded. 2013. Yeezus.
I'm okay with it.
No,
I'm okay with it,
no
too.
Kanye song, in my opinion, slaps harder without take the lyrics out. Black Skinhead.
Yeah.
I'll go fight somebody.
Blood on the Leaves
And
is an
Blood on the Leaves,
Phenomenal.
dude.
Blood
Come
on the
on.
Leaves and Black Skinhead are enough to carry the entire album for me personally.
yeah. That horn section at the
Yeah.
end when there's no lyrics is so sick.
Yeah, those are
So sick.
No, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we used to bump. Me and Big Whitey from the Death of Kayfabe used to bump Yeezus in the kitchen when we were working together, 8 hours straight, dude. We do Yeezus. We put on another album. We put Yeezus back on. We put on another album. Because it was like the week it came out, so we were like, "Yo, let's throw that new Ye
Yeah, let's
album
get
back
after
on."
it.
Like,
Yeah. All right, number 7. There's no way we have the same
Let's
one.
see.
Jay-Z
No.
and Kanye West Watch the Throne.
Put some respect on it, dude.
And I know that 7 is probably
Too low.
too low, but
It's too low.
I had to.
Brian's going like this, so I wish.
No.
you
Okay,
So,
mine.
No Church in the Wild is
Great song.
unbelievable.
Yeah, such a good
And it
song.
has the same, for me, production value as Blood on the Leaves. Like, it feels like that. Like, right? In Paris,
Right.
Otis,
Great song.
Who Gonna Stop Me, and Murder to Excellence. Actually, Made in America's good too.
Bro, they're all.
it's all
This is
great
it's a
this is almost a
murderer's row.
playthrough.
It's a
for
good
me.
album. Yeah,
It's a
it's
murderer's
a good
row.
album.
Could have went higher. Maybe looking at it now, should have went higher, but it's at 7. Brian, to you.
All right. So for number 7, I have Faces by Mac Miller. I think it should be in everyone's top 10. And I'm not even the biggest fan of Mac Miller, but this project was absolutely amazing, and it became more amazing after he passed away. I know that sounds fucked up, but when you kind of look at it,
That's how you know you're one of the greats, dude.
but just hear me out. So
Yeah.
I re-listened to this because they reissued it. His estate reissued it on Spotify and streaming platforms. So I was like, let's give this another listen because I did listen to it in 2014. But just listening to it again now, you're like, you kind of just see where he was kind of at with life and what was going. And this was all, honestly, it was all called to help. And it just makes it more sad because I feel like closer to when he passed away, he was getting out of this whole like being dependent on drugs and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. Every single song on this album is great. I like the way it was much more. It was a kind of like a darker, more psychedelic version of watching movie with the sounds off. With the sound off, I felt like that album was more hip hoppy. There was still some dark kind of synthy sounding things in there, but it was more based around like pop and hip hop and things. Faces was hip hop, but this was dark. There's songs about him straight up dealing with drug addiction. There's songs straight up with him dealing with his family and what's going to happen with him. It's hard to listen to it because he talks about him passing away at one point in one song, and now it's like, it's just crazy. But I think it's a great album of mixtape rather. It is funny. I found a tweet by him that he tweeted in 2017. He says, "I was not on planet Earth when I made Faces. I was not even close." And I think when you listen to the album, you can totally see what's going on. And I think it's wild because it's probably one of his best albums.
Is that
or
the album
mixtapes.
where he says something about like I hope the Ye don't kill me or something like that?
No, that's Good AM when he's hope that you don't kill me. I'm not trying to join the 27 club. That's actually I
Yeah.
think on Good AM,
Which is so insane.
It's so weird.
But it is fucked up. But I'll tell you, my favorite songs on here, they're all great. But my favorite definitely is Diablo, awesome song. Malibu is a great song, and of course Insomniac with Rick Ross are both 3 great songs.
Mac Miller, right before we move on. You ever hear from the Circles album, Good News?
Yeah,
That is like listening to that after he died.
it's sad.
It's like
Yeah, it's really sad.
really, really tough to listen
Faces, there's a lot of parallels like that on Faces too, but not from a like a this is sad.
to. Not like it's
How
over
can anyone stop
standpoint.
this? From
like
this is self-destructive. Like this is where
Which
he
is
was at.
crazy.
Yeah.
And
Also just one more thing about Circles. You ever hear this song? Shit, what's the? Everybody's gotta lose.
Everybody?
gonna die. Yeah,
that's
it's-
watching movies or that's Faces?
No,
that's
that's
Circles.
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 But that's
But
20,
Circles
I
is
was,
post-
I was just trying to
Yeah,
connect
yeah,
the good news.
Yeah, no,
I
100%.
just,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't remember exactly if Brian was in on this, but me and Alessino and a couple of our friends had tickets to go see him in the PlayStation Theater. Right, like what was it? The show was 4
Probably like
months.
2 weeks. No.
No,
Was it
Not
dude.
even
4
that.
months?
Was it even a
No,
month?
dude.
It was like
It was like
September.
2 weeks.
You were going in
Yeah.
like November. And
Yeah.
passed.
Yeah, it
He
was
passed
like
away in
2 or 3
September.
weeks after he passed away. We went
Yeah,
to see
it was
him.
crazy.
I'll never live that down. But it is what it is.
Sad.
Numero 7. I got Flower Boy by Tyler the Creator. Single
Jack, your
platinum
album's-
album.
Your list is good.
4th studio album for Tyler. I mean, it's my favorite Tyler album because besides Call Me When You Get Lost, because that album's just great. Love it.
Yeah.
But it's got
My number 6 is Scumfuck Flower Boy. I'm because we're tag team.
What are you?
All right,
My
wait,
number
got it
6
7,
is
you got
my
it
number
6.
6 is Scumfuck Flower Boy. This album is
Is
the
it your number 6?
No, no,
Okay.
no.
This album again, it's probably one of my favorite Tyler albums. This is coming off of the heels of finishing the 3-part Dr. TC series with Bastard, Goblin, and Wolf, and this to me felt like the first time where he was like, I don't have to be
It was coming off Cherry Bomb.
Cherry Bomb, right? I
Yeah.
forgot about Cherry Bomb. So yeah, you're right. Cherry Bomb led into this too,
yeah.
where I'm just making what I want to make now. Like I did the horrorcore shit, I did my shock value, I got my name, I got my money, I'm good. I don't care if anybody buys this album. I'm making what I enjoy, and he puts on a shit ton of Odd Future and like less known to almost not known at all artists on this album. Correct.
Yeah.
Same thing on Cherry Bomb, which Cherry Bomb I almost completely forgot about that. Didn't make my list obviously, but that album slaps too.
Amazing.
Love Cherry
Yeah.
Bomb.
just some great songs off the album. We got Who Dat Boy, I Ain't Got Time,
Yes,
See You Again,
yes.
911/Mr. Lonely.
Garden Shed.
Also good. The whole album
Yeah,
is great.
whole album's great.
Absolutely slaps.
Straight to
Yeah.
number 6 for me.
Good to see your number 6. Yeah.
2014 Forest Hills Drive, J. Cole.
Don't look at me. I don't like J. Cole.
That's why I had it as an honorable mention.
Okay.
Look, here's the thing. If you
Go ahead. I will allow it.
I don't love J. Cole. I think J. Cole is good. He's a good storyteller. I think part of what did it for me about this is the album where everyone goes, J. Cole went double platinum with no features. Cool. I don't give a fuck, dude.
That's not why it's
I
on
don't-
here.
No,
I'm
I'm not saying that. That's why you
I'll
have it
help
on
you
here.
out with this.
I think part of my reasoning for not liking or liking not loving J. Cole is the unanimous love and slobbing of his knowledge.
Yeah. I hear you.
And the fact that he gets like a fucking semi-pro basketball contract, like he's not.
Well,
good
this is
basketball
unrelated.
player.
Now, I hear what
No,
you're saying,
it's
but
just all
it's
part of the things that drag
So-
down the aura of J. Cole.
so. Here's how it goes.
But that
Ready?
album it's an incredible album.
I don't listen to music. Honestly, I don't listen to music at work. I listen to it in the car primarily. I usually don't even listen to it when I get home. It's not something I put on like to pass time or I don't want to say for enjoyment because then I sound like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't just be like, "Oh, I got nothing to do. Let me listen to the whole album." Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather turn on a sporting event or whatever. So for me, but
I do it too.
no, but I don't want to look like the weirdo that says like that sounds depressive. Like I'll never turn on music just for fun. Like you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
Right. So for me, this album is more of a. Obviously, you guys know I drive up to Strawberry Park in the summer, 3-hour drive. This is something I could put on, listen through. It's like I could get into it. I could sing everyone. I don't need to watch the throne. I get fucking amped up. I got to fight somebody. I'm like, here we go. I'm like every song, you know. And this is something more. I could just. It's just a background noise. I don't want to say background noise, but you know what I mean. It's very. So anyway, I'll run through it. Wet Dreams, Tale of Two Cities. Get Off My Dick. No Role Models. No, that's basically it for me. What said you're gonna throw in stuff?
No, you basically hit all the points.
Before you go, is it on your list?
No,
right.
It's funny because you won't find any J. Cole on my list.
Okay, that's
But-
fine. Like I said, I'm not in love with the guy.
But
This
as
album I
much of
happen
a
to like.
staple as he is, another guy who my generation loves, J. Cole. The whole double platinum with no features. I don't give a shit either, dude. Like
I think it's far more impressive that Chance the Rapper won a Grammy without a fucking record deal.
Without a label.
Yeah, without a record deal and a label. I think that's but nobody talks about that. But everyone
Because he doesn't have a record deal or a label, dude.
Yeah.
That's why nobody talks about it.
exactly.
You know,
but the thing is, like Jimmy said, not love.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with it. But I mean, at least you guys can understand why it's there. I mean, 6.
Oh, all right. So number 6, I don't know. This is going to be 50-50 with Mr. James Hawkins. Number 6 is Man on the Moon 2 by Kid Cudi. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
you
I don't
can get
hate
it
it.
out.
No. Listen, we're not. When you're done, we're not done on this album. So
Okay. So this album is great.
Oh.
Do not get me wrong. I won't go too into it because I'm assuming you probably have it a little bit higher. But I loved it. Is a very psychedelic album. And I think it kind of goes into the album itself. I'm sure everyone knows or has heard before. This is him coming out of during a cocaine addiction. So this album is very introspective. It's a lot about kind of what he was experiencing. And I feel like the production on the album also feels that type of way. It's very atmospheric. You kind of feel yourself almost getting somewhat introspective with it in a way that I feel like that's what he was going for. He's trying to tell you a story, but also kind of make you feel it, if that kind of makes sense. I'm not going to go too deep into it,
100%.
but my favorite songs on this, Don't Play This Song, I thought was great. It's about his, it's a song, I think it's a song actually about his mother calling him at one point while he's like on a cocaine bender. Obviously Mr. Rager, because that's just a great song. These Worries. So basically both songs with Mary J. Blige I like. And then Wild and Cause I'm Young, because it's just one of the best songs on the album. And I didn't put Ghost on here, but Ghost should probably also be on that list also.
That's
Jack,
6,
you're number
it's
6.
6 for you, Jack.
Number 6 for me. So this is a weird one for you guys. I have DiCaprio 2 by JID/Jid. And
Nope.
Got nothing.
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 So
Yeah, dude, the floor is yours.
But this is good. I like this. So
No,
go
yeah,
ahead.
allow me to explain.
Give
I
me
took
a
some-
comparison to a rapper that we could, so we know. what
There
type of music
is
it
no comparison.
Well,
That's the
stylistically-
part.
stylistically,
stylistically
production-
similar to J. Cole and a lot of Big L or Lil Wayne.
production wise, Lil Wayne, Big L, stuff like that too?
More like his ability. He's
No, I mean
jocular.
the production on the tracks. What is the production similar to? Like the
J. Cole, Dreamville.
Okay.
So a couple claims just to describe him to you. Very strong melodic instincts, sharing ties with Isaiah Rashad and even occasionally Bone Thugs. He has the ability to get off jokes even in the midst of triple time rapping, a la Big L or Lil Wayne.
Is he from the South?
Atlanta. But to describe the album to you, as cliche as it sounds, there is something for everyone and their mother on DiCaprio too. JID breaks the mold originally set by J. Cole, takes all the best parts and mixes with them and his own distinctive practice and pitch that works seamlessly with an array of trap and soulful beats. So, have you guys ever heard the song Off D's?
I probably have.
Get off my dick, run on my hip, cannabis, roll on my spliff, Hannibal, look at like this. No.
No.
So
Now I have.
Well,
But I
no,
imagine I've
will-
heard it now. I
Yeah.
feel like I've heard it.
I've lived it.
So I'll give you one of my favorite bars from the album. It's from a song called Strawberries, and it's her pussy ball with the tat like Steph. Oh fuck, hold on. Give
Come
me a
on.
If you're gonna give
second.
bars, you better give
Say it
bars,
slower,
son.
Say it slower.
Bars. Can you hang with the hyenas?
Like it's a
Ow!
Go ahead.
All right. I gotta pull it up because I'm gonna fuck it
You
up.
just
So
went
I
all
gotta,
Swayze
Stand up in
Universe
front
on
of
his
his
ass.
I gotta pull it up for you because I don't want to fuck it up. I want to do it justice.
Well, you
Alright.
better fucking pull it up fast.
My girl booty's soft and it's shaped like a strawberry. Her pussy bald with the tat like Stephon Marbury.
Oh my god.
Love it. I love a good vagina bar, dude.
All right, that was 10 through 6. We're gonna take a break and we'll get back to the top 5.
All right, guys, listen. Pat McAfee said it best. You got to look good to feel good. You got to feel good to play good. Well, we're going to help you guys look good with Saatchi Di Dinero. All right, it's the finest Italian material. It's fire. It's comfortable. And we got a saving for you. All right, you're going to use promo code HAVOC for 10% off your total purchase at SaatchiDiDinero.com. Also, check them out over at Instagram at Saatchi Di Dinero. Saatchi Di Dinero, always authentic, never counterfeit. Welcome back, everybody. We're doing the top 10 hip hop projects 2010 to 2019. We are down to the nitty gritty. It's the top 5. I'm starting with my number 5. Give me the blowback. Give me the smoke. It is what it is. I said I was scoring this guy against himself. Number 5. Had to check the year to make sure it was right. 2015, To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar. King Kunta, Sick. One of my favorite songs ever. It's a good album.
Great
Very
album.
great album.
Great album.
Ultimately,
Flawless album.
it, I would say
Flawless.
I would say every album from here on out I consider to be a flawless album. The one thing about this now, it's a hard point to make because it's kind of Kendrick in general.
Mhm.
But obviously, we are four suburban white kids who don't really understand much about the hood or what it's like being black in America. And To Pimp a Butterfly, thematically, is largely about Kendrick
and I
dealing
just
with his fame as a black man in America.
and that's exactly what I was going to say in a different respect about Good Kid, Mad City. Also, it's the same idea, but instead of fame, now we're learning about the story of someone.
Well, right. Well, so yeah,
Well, so
we got time to get to that.
If you've
So,
ever listened to the song "How Much a Dollar Really Costs,"
that's my 5.
Yes.
that is
yeah.
So.
exactly insane.
So we'll go on Alessino for his number.
Yeah, my number 5 is Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
Good Kid, Mad City.
All right.
another flawless album.
Yes.
And yeah. So here we go. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, which actually is probably out of the songs I like. Everyone stay with me. Out of those songs I like, my least favorite song I like.
Still, yeah, I get what
Okay.
you're saying.
Fine.
But Poetic Justice
Great song.
Great.
is really out of control. Obviously, Mad City slaps everywhere
Both
you go.
both parts. Yeah,
I just listened to this album going to get the computer before we
Yeah.
recorded.
yeah. so
Swimming
good.
pools.
Yep.
Again, what you were saying, basically. So this is more so the beginning, right?
This is Kendrick Lamar telling his story. This is where I came from. This is
yeah.
the type of environment I grew up with.
It's
This
exactly
is what I'm
it's
trying to
called.
get out of.
It's exactly
Good
what
Kid,
it's called.
Mad
Good
City.
Kid,
No,
Mad
yeah,
City.
100%. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you could definitely, and with that, Mad City, that song, in and of itself tells that story. You know what I mean? And
I mean, people who didn't even know hip hop or Kendrick or rap or anything in the genre knew yacht.
Oh my God.
You know, like
Yeah.
everyone knew that sound.
so
Correct me if I'm wrong. The song, what was it?
What's it about?
I don't-
Trust Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, or Help Me, I'm
Tell me
Dying
I'm
of Thirst.
dying of thirst. Yeah.
That song,
Remember
great.
Great.
I don't mean to backtrack here, but Black of the Berry is Pimp Butterfly, right?
Pimp
That's
Butterfly.
probably my second favorite song on that album.
So anyway, I mean, another Kendrick album. That's why I have it at 5. Go ahead.
Number 5 for me. I'm not gonna go too crazy into it because we kind of already talked about it, but it's gonna be "Watch the Throne" by Jay-Z and Kanye West. To be honest,
Okay.
all the songs are hits. It's not really a deep introspective album in any
No.
way. Just two rich rappers at the top of the game saying, "Let's collab
Let's
and
bang.
make a sick album."
let's
and that
let's
is
give
exactly
bangers.
what it is.
100%.
Favorite song for me, hands down. Can't even debate it. "Who Gon' Stop Me?" Jay-Z has the sickest verse in the whole entire album on that song. "Hard as a Motherfucker," Ham, another great song, and probably not considered one of the best songs. One of my personal favorites is "Prime Time" on Watch the Throne, but they're all good. Otis, I know you said was great.
Otis is my favorite
No
song on
Church
the
in the
album.
Wild is great. "Lift Off," another amazing
Yeah.
song. So
For me,
yeah.
it's Otis and No Church in the Wild. That's my 2 favorite. I mean, obviously the In Paris is that's great too,
yeah, you know what?
but that's overplayed,
It's-
mainstreamed for
That's
me.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I get bored of the singles. very
For me,
quickly,
that's
so-
how I feel. Yeah. So, number 5, Jack.
Number 5, The Big Day by Chance the Rapper. Came out 2019. It's the first studio album that he's released. First studio. Favorite song is Ball and
Well,
Flossin'.
I mean, technically it's an album, but still no record.
listed
label,
listed as the first technical
Yeah,
studio album.
technically.
It's my favorite Chance project album, whatever you want to
I
call
mean,
it.
What's the Get a Bag?
You want
uh,
a bag?
No,
you
no,
get
but
a bag.
the specific bar from Get a Bag is I stopped smoking cigarettes.
Now pussy tastes like key lime.
I like it a lot too. It just didn't beat acid rap for me, and I wasn't gonna put Chance on twice.
Yeah, I don't
But
think you could
so,
put a chance on twice.
The Big Day is essentially, it's meant to play through like a wedding reception, right? If you listen to the album,
It was
it-
made when he got married.
it was made right after he got married, and it's a lot about his love for his wife and his family and his kid, and then his soon-to-be kid, because his second child wasn't born yet when he made this album. And if you listen to it start to finish, it plays like a wedding reception would. Like it starts with the banger, like everyone coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and then it slows down like you're eating dinner, and then it starts to slowly pick back up until the end of the party when everyone's hammered, having a great time. It's really a good like literally for a wedding, like just throw on for a party,
Right,
listen
right,
to
right,
it,
right,
good
right.
to dance. You don't really need to know who it is, that it's Chance or who's featuring on it. Both tracks that Nicki Minaj is on are my favorite tracks on the album.
And I think this is a good spot to talk about it. So a lot of albums have like skits or like weird little,
Mm-hmm.
This album has some like my favorite skits or like little
Little
side
playthrough. Yeah.
little playthroughs, because 4 Quarters in the Black is fucking hysterical. I love
Yeah.
4 Quarters in the Black. And then what's the other one?
There's a few skits on that album. I don't know which one you're
There's
talking
another
about.
good one, but
Also, the song with his brother. What's his brother's name?
I don't know.
His brother raps on what? Taylor, maybe? His brother raps on one of the songs with him that's like about the two of them growing up and like always having each other and this and that. But I didn't know this until I listened to the album. His brother's a DJ, and his brother actually produced a lot of the stuff on this album. Anything else you got on number 5?
No, it's my favorite Chance album. That's what I got.
All right. Here we go. Number 4.
All right.
We're in the mix.
Number 4, baby. My first non-album, I believe, that I've listed in the top 10. It is a mixtape. It is 2015. It is produced by Metro Boomin. It's Drake and Future's "What a Time to Be Alive," my man. Look at the track. Brian looks upset. Look at the track listing on that song, because on the mixtape, because I can't pull it up. But it is
is really
banger
good. It is
after
really
banger after banger. Jumpman, Live from the Gutter,
Big Rings.
Digital Dash, Big
Big
Rings,
rings.
Diamonds Dancing. And when this album came out, this was
And
at
Jersey. Jersey was a sick song.
this was at a time when I was working the good old 1:30 to 10 p.m. shift, and I just fell into that, like, staying up till 3 a.m., sleeping till noon, like, not really interacting with people. And I listened to this album every night on my way home from work.
This album, every time I see it, always reminds me of one of our motherfucking sponsors, Stay Thirsty, my man Thaddeus Piskus. I'll always think about him every time that I
Promo
see
code
this
Havoc.
album.
Is this in your top 10?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But it came out literally, I think, probably 3 weeks into me meeting Thad and Little Daniel
Oh,
and everyone
God,
up there.
yeah.
So
I believe it's September 20th.
Those are the first-
September 20th, 2015.
The first
Yep.
moments you have with them are this album.
Exactly. And
Okay.
Thaddeus
I got
loves
a really
Drake.
big
So
team
it's
with
so
its
funny.
really big
Dude, views, and What a Time to Be Alive. I associate both of those with Thaddeus. Just because he was the one always listening to them all the time. So
Great album. Mixtape, whatever you want to call it.
So my number 4, and honestly, I feel pretty good. I feel like I've been kind of where I need to be on this list,
Right.
and I feel like I'm even more aligned with you guys at this point.
okay.
Number 4 is Man on the Moon 2.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got you.
fuck yeah.
I really, really, really had to think about putting this in the top 3, for all the reasons Brian said before. Right? You said it already, right?
What's that?
You listed this one, Man on the Moon 2.
Yes.
All right. So for all the reasons you said, did you go through the songs?
I didn't. I knew
Alright.
people were going to have it higher than me,
So-
so I kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through it really quick.
Go ahead.
Marijuana, Erase Me, Mr. Ranger,
All good songs. yeah.
Ghost, obviously.
Revel Fev.
Right. We don't. All
Trapped in My Mind.
right. Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just going off the top of my head. Like,
scaring me.
I didn't mean to scare you.
Yeah. All right. You want? Yeah. Jump.
Shout out Matt Oro once again. He's got Revel Fev lyrics tattooed on the inside.
No,
of the
he's
song.
got Ghost. Ghost.
Ghost,
There
right?
you go.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Ghost.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Shout out Matter. Go ahead. Number 4 for you.
Oh, number 4.
All right, yeah,
All
we're in it.
right.
I mean. We
All right,
again.
number 4.
All
It's
right.
been on lists
Yeah,
before.
keep that up. So I'm an idiot.
Flower Boy by Tyler the Creator.
Fuck
Wow.
yes.
It is hands down probably his best album.
Can I
At
just say
least-
one thing
yeah.
before? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
It's
when
okay.
I said it was an honorable mention, Tyler the Creator, I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't know if I wanted Igor or Flower Boy. You were like, you fucking really just
We no
Play-
sold you, dude. We poker faced
I'm no
you.
sold everybody,
you
dude.
poker faced
I'm
the
no
shit out of
selling
me,
everybody.
and you made me feel like it doesn't deserve to be in the top
No,
10. And I was
it's-
like, wow, I'm an asshole.
No,
And then
no,
you
no.
go put it in.
But hold
4.
on, it's gonna get better. So I went with Flower Boy at 4, but I could easily tie it with Cherry Bomb at 4 too, and it wouldn't make a difference to me. I went with Flower Boy strictly because it was farther away from the lo-fi aspect. It was more rooted in hip hop, and honestly, it was just put together better. Hawk kind of mentioned it before, but yeah, Tyler the Creator, he kind of took this route after Wolf, where he was like, I'm gonna make what I want. Cherry Bomb wound up being what it was in the sense that it was more experimentation and kind of new noises that he was kind of fucking around with. Flower
And Cherry
Boy,
Bomb sounded like shit on purpose, right? Like on the production end and how his voice was.
it's
muffled
supposed
out.
to be, yeah. So the voice was all supposed to sound raspy and blown out, and
Yeah,
that was the
like
idea
it was
behind
recorded on a shitty.
Right,
setup.
and I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he said in an interview before it was really just him trying to find a new sound, something that he wanted to fuck around with. And I feel like Flower Boy was kind of like, this is the culmination of the sound I want to put out. Like, this is how I want to sound when I make music. Because Igor kind of follows the same thing also. And I think he said in interviews that he considers Igor to be like his complete album. Like, this is the type of music
Yeah.
I want to make. And Flower Boy was kind of the step into that. Honestly, favorite songs for me, I Ain't Got Time, Who Dat Boy. You didn't mention November, but November's
November
a great,
is sick.
great fucking song. It was nominated for Best Rap Album of 2018, but it did not win. I think that year it might have been Damn. I could be wrong.
Yeah, 2017, same year.
2018 for
Well,
this.
would have been the 2018 awards.
Right.
but
So I think
yeah.
it was Damn for that year who got it, which, I mean, that deserves it. But either way, I'm a huge Tyler the Creator fan. It's a great album. It's all put together well. And like I said, I could tie it with Cherry Bomb or even Igor. Honestly, they're interchangeable to me.
You're a big fan, though. Definitely.
Probably my number 1 or 2 favorite
So
rapper.
are you done
So
with Tyler on your
That's
list?
it for the list.
All right.
yeah.
So I meant to bring this up before, but you stumbled upon Odd Future on Sirius XM Radio, and then you
Yeah.
brought it to me.
So I was driving up to Evan's house in Connecticut. I found Yonkers. It came up on the radio, and they're like, "There's this new guy, Tyler the Creator, blah blah blah," and they played the song, and I'm like, "This is sick." Immediately drove to Connecticut and was like, "Yo, I found this song on the way here." One of his friends was like, "Yo, I listened to all their music on Tumblr. Here's all their stuff," and I'm like, "Oh, this is great." And that was it. From then on
Then
in,
you came
Wow.
back.
It
You
was
came
out.
back, and within a few days after you came back, you showed it to me, and then we started. And then a few weeks later, Goblin came out.
yep,
a
because he
few-
was getting ready to drop
Maybe
the album.
2 months.
Okay.
Yep.
Goblin came out after that, and like we just got on the like Bastard, just started
Right.
listening to Bastard and all the other stuff, and then Goblin,
Which is a
came out.
great mixtape.
Number 4, I have Blue Slide Park, Mac Miller, 2011. I understand you guys were like, stay away. We moved away from like the college rap, like the drinking, fucking around. Maybe just you.
No, I fuck with Blue Slide Park.
like
Blue Slide Park is a great album. It's the debut studio album,
Correct.
and it has a gold certification for it, RIAA. But Party on Fifth Ave slaps.
I want to
Miss-
say this is his last project with Rostrum Records, but it might have been the what came after Blue Slide Park.
That I'm not sure.
I'm
not
not
a
a
Mac
Mac
Miller
Miller fan too.
I think it might have been watching movies that came. I don't remember. Whatever. I think this might be his last album produced by Rostrum Records.
PA Nights, also very good song. Up All Night is bangers. I listen to these
Loud.
songs all the time.
Loud's on there. It's
Loud's
a
on
good
there.
good partying album for sure.
Always with the boys. We're always when we're partying.
Yeah, when the boys are
Blue
buzzing,
Slides.
dude. When the boys are buzzing, you want to throw some Blue Slide Park.
Blue Slides definitely. And that's the respect for it. Like, I couldn't find any other spots for other Mac Miller projects or albums, but like this one made its way up there, and I was like, I think this is where it deserves to be. So that's my number 4.
All right. Top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah, now we're in it.
Now we're really in the shits. Number 3, 2010, The Man on the Moon 2, The Legend of Mr. Rager, Kid Cudi. And I will say this, Man on the Moon 1 was only about 8 weeks shy of also making this list. Man on the Moon
Yeah.
1 comes out November of 2009.
Oh, we
So,
knew.
It was
we
only
know.
a few short weeks before, and I'd have no problem putting them both in the top 5 if it would have made it. Like you guys kind of already touched on it already. It's the sound, it's just an immersive sound. It's one. I could the Strawberry Park trip. I couldn't tell you how many Strawberry Park trips I put on Man on the Moon 1 at the top and listened through both albums.
Yeah.
You don't even have to think about anything for
Mhm.
2 hours musically.
Right.
You just
No, I
Let me see.
I agree.
Do you still have the track
I
listing up?
do.
I have
Because like I know for a fact that neither one of you Scott Muscati versus the World. The first
It's a great song,
with
yeah.
CeeLo, another great one. I mean Mojo So Dope, Ashton Kutcher.
But that's every song, you know. We literally
right.
have
No,
named
no,
every
I'm
song
just-
between all of us. So, yeah, I mean,
I'd say if I have to give you my number 1 favorite, it's Trapped in My Mind.
can I ask you something though?
Great song.
If it now, I know this isn't this podcast, but just out of curiosity, would it be 1 or 2 if you could only have one album?
If I could only have one album, I think it might be 2, but I would have
It'd
to
be close.
go listen to both of them again and give you a real answer. Both of those albums I hold near and dear to my heart. Because these come out the end of high school into college for us.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So right around the time where music is kind of everything to a kid in a way,
Yeah.
So, 3, I'm good.
Yeah, the only thing
Alright.
I have to say about this, obviously for our shared love of the album, for Christmas one year, I got you this album
Yep.
on vinyl.
Yep.
So you had a 3. This is the first one that we've all had, but you haven't, right? You didn't have it, Men on the Moon 2.
Not yet. No.
Not yet. So you might.
Well,
It's a
we all
spoiler.
kind of had Flower Boy. You had him on the honorable mentions,
Yeah.
but everyone else has hit Flower
All right.
Boy.
So 3 is Kendrick Lamar's "Damn."
Okay, I'm fine with that.
A lot of one-word titles on this one,
Mhm.
capital letters. I don't know if I have to say them loud, but loyalty,
It's the
humble,
aesthetic, yeah.
love,
DNA.
DNA. Right, I missed that one.
Fear.
Fear, feel.
Duckworth.
No, not Duckworth. I'm not a fan of Duckworth.
So
I'm sorry.
That's good.
before you get
Sorry.
into it, I just wanted to say for me, for the sake of
I'm getting out of it. That's it.
for the sake of variety in the list, like I said, scored Kendrick against Kendrick. This DNA, and as always, correct me if I'm wrong, more of a trap heavy sound to
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
And for me, I like the other 2 better.
Okay.
I didn't view it that way. Like, not. I agree with you, but I didn't view
And I
it.
think
I'll go right
the
back to Kendrick.
singles
I
that-
will go right back to
The
Kendrick.
singles propping up the album are better for me than DNA and
Okay.
Loyalty.
Okay.
I don't disagree. I mean, like I said, I had Kendrick before this, then I played him here, and I probably have him one more.
Yeah,
So
it's-
it's just how it is. Unfortunately, it's what I'm
Yeah.
into. Go ahead.
Number 3, I got "Good Kid, Mad City" by Kendrick Lamar.
There you go.
And it could easily be 2 or 1. Honestly, it really could be. We've said a bunch about it, but pretty much I was gonna say the same exact things. It's a story about him growing up, conflicted between gang life, and he talks a lot about his family, keeping him grounded. There's a lot of themes about talking about his parents and his cousins and everything like that. And then there's also songs of him dealing with peer pressure. There's actually the Arts Peer Pressure about
Which
him
is a
robbing a
great
house.
song.
Right.
You know, so a lot of interesting things. Well, some of the interesting things I found on it. So I didn't know this, but it's not really too surprising. So 2019, the album became the longest charting hip hop studio album. So as of September 16, 2009, it has charted every week on the Billboard 200 since December. Every week. I'm sorry. As of September 16, 2019, it's charted every week since its release in December 6th of 2014. So it's been in the
So
Billboard
for
Top
6
200
5, 6
for
years.
over 5 years,
Yeah.
almost 6 years. My favorite
Good Kid, Mad
songs,
City.
Yeah.
Good Kid,
I
Mad
thought it
City,
released 2012.
2012, but it looks like it debuted on the list in 2014.
Gotcha.
Sorry, that's my fault.
No, yeah.
Favorite songs on this? Money Trees. Absolutely
Oh, yeah.
love Money Trees. Song about him hustling, kind of just depending, trying to make sense of, is it hustling and making money is worth it to him to be doing that rather than, I guess, working in a sense. What the hell's going on here? And one of my favorite songs, Backseat Freestyle. It's essentially part of the story where his friends ask him to freestyle in the backseat while they're on the way to rob said house in Arts of Peer Pressure. Nothing really too special about it. They just tell him, and you could hear it at the end of the song before it. He literally says, "Yo, get in the car. You need to start rapping and put on some music."
Yeah, he
So
says
this is him
he
rapping in
says,
the backseat.
I got 5 blacks and a beat
Yeah.
CD. Get them freestyles ready. K-Dot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then my other favorite song, both Good Kid and Mad City. Both of them together, absolutely amazing. Telling a story about, police brutality in Compton, dealing with that sort of lifestyle. And then Mad City being more about Kendrick growing up, getting a job, being influenced by his friends to stage a robbery,
Yeah.
get out of the job,
Man
things
City's
like that.
nuts.
Also tells a story about why he doesn't smoke weed. First time he was handed a joint, smoked weed that was laced with cocaine and wound up foaming from the mouth. So that's like a whole thing. And I do like how the acronym is so he actually said there's 2 acronyms for Mad City. One is My Angels on Angel Dust and My Angry Adolescents Divided, which I think is interesting because I think the My Angels on Angel Dust is essentially him saying like he had people watching over him, but they didn't have the right direction. So they're trying to have him do the right thing, but they're not really doing the right thing
Huh.
themselves. This is all just interpretive.
No,
And then the other thing,
no.
obviously, My Angry Adolescents Divided being a little bit more obvious. This is an album about him, growing up in Compton and trying to get out.
That's
and-
pretty cool. I never knew that. That's
So-
pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's easily could be number 1, but just
Yeah.
for charts, top 10 sakes, as Hawk saying, I'll put it at 3.
All right.
I'm gonna switch it up here a little bit. We're gonna little shock value here. At number 3, I have So Much Fun 2019 by Young Thug. So
People fuck with this. I've never listened to it.
Neither
but
have I.
people fuck
Neither
with
have I. I
this.
can't be
Neither have I.
mad because I haven't listened to
Let
it.
us
But
know, Jack.
so
Yeah. make the case.
I will make you your case. You got Bad Bad Bad. Hit Around the World. Rose gold seat on the fucking helicopter. Double C's go shoot bad. I'm forgetting the bar.
Why do you
get
keep
the
doing
point.
this? Deliver it
man.
or don't. You don't
Listen,
have to look it up. It's okay.
I'm not looking it up. I'm bringing up more songs.
Oh,
for you.
okay, okay.
We got Ecstasy, which is a Machine Gun Kelly feature, which is very good. You wouldn't suspect it, but very good. You got Surf with Gunna. Very good song. Very vibey. We got Mannequin Challenge, which is my favorite song, and it has Juice WRLD in it. I woke up to Mannequin Challenge from basically the day this album came out until I graduated high school. So every morning, my alarm would go off at 6 a.m. and I would wake up to the Rolex be gray, I be calling it granted. I cut the lamp truck in that bitch panoramic. And I would wake up and I would sing the song.
Ready to start the day, baby.
Yeah.
That,
Let's go
also-
slay man.
Hit the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
World by the balls, baby.
That song, it's great. But the reason it's so high up here is Young Thug never really put out, besides Slime Talk. This is the first album where it was like, okay, Young Thug is like one of the best. Like he's up there. This was the collection of everything that was like, okay, so this guy, because he was a lot of features, a lot of production, a lot of back and forth, never really put out anything super solid. And then this is like, okay, now this guy, he's got the respect. He's here. And I always felt that way about Young Thug. It's just that nobody really listened to him enough to like, he was like very good in the features. Anytime you heard a feature of Young Thug, it was kind of slapped. I can't really give you a couple off the top of my head, but you get the point. When I say Young Thug, you
Mhm.
know who I'm talking about.
Of course.
And this is the album that put it all together. And it was like, all right, we understand now. Like, this guy's up here. He hasn't put out anything super recently. I think another Slime Talk album came out. But nothing that was super wow as this was. And it's got my... I woke up to part of this album for 3 years of my life.
Well, then it's got to be in it.
It's got it.
Fair
Number
enough.
number two,
Fair
Jim. Number two.
Number 2. It's an album we've already talked about. It's the 2011 masterclass of the banger, Jay and Ye, Watch the Throne. I don't want to get into it. All the songs you guys mentioned are great. I love them all. You know, the whole album, really, we've talked about it. My piece that I'm going to add, this came out during my one and done freshman year at SUNY Cortland.
Oh.
During this time period when this album was out and like for the couple of months, you walk into anybody's dorm room on any given moment, they're studying, Watch the Throne's on. They're watching the game, Watch the Throne's on. They're playing video games, Watch the Throne's on. Me and 2 other kids, separate rooms on the floor, all had like, you know, relatively decent sound systems, loud, a lot of bass. For the pregame, all 3 of us would play the album at the same time with the doors open. So the entire floor, shout out Randall Hall, 2nd floor, would pregame to Watch the Throne, played from 3 different fucking sound systems, shaking the walls, dude. That was the pregame that entire first semester that I was there. That's the only thing I really have to add to it. I mean, like we said, not super deep, not super lyrically, like...
No, a hype
Just-
piece.
just
put
two-
together for hype.
just
and it's
two of the
absurd.
best
It's a
at the
masterclass of
time.
Hype
Yeah.
bangers.
They were like, let's make a hype
You know,
album.
not
And they
for nothing.
fucking did it.
Not for
Yeah.
nothing, but like you take 2 guys at the top of their game and you put them together, and they better come
That's what I'm
through,
saying,
and
yeah.
they did. But that's a lot of fucking expectation to deliver on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
and
album
they did.
fails, and it's how, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but they did good. So that's 2, right?
Yep.
All right, 2. Kendrick again.
Okay.
To Pimp a Butterfly. And now, like Jack said, I never woke up to songs other than an iPhone alarm, but that's fine. King Kunta, I listened to
Such a good song.
almost,
Dude, I
Bitch,
think-
where were you when I was walking?
yeah, almost
Yeah.
every single day.
I think about you every time I listen to King Kunta.
I don't know what.
because you love that song.
I
so
love that song. Like that will forever be one of my favorite
It's such a
songs
good song.
ever.
Yeah.
So it's like you had it on there, right? You had it in your top 10? To Pimp a Butterfly?
Yeah. He just
Okay,
had
okay.
5.
Oh, 5. Okay. So Hood Politics, we went through the whole thing, but
Hood Politics is a
Right.
great song.
For
Institutionalized
me,
a great song.
right. So there you go. I have it at 2. I know.
It's
We've
fine.
already
No,
talked
no.
about it. So
All right. So for number 2, because someone has to do it.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. I mean, what are we doing here?
Well, we're not done yet.
Someone has to do
We're
it.
not done yet.
someone will. Someone
So-
will do it.
This album is a direct response to the actions that Kanye West. Let me reverse this. This album was a direct response to what happened with Taylor Swift and Kanye West. Kanye West went into a little bit of hiding, was breaking up with his deteriorating relationship with Amber Rose. Kind of a lot of things going on in his life. He kind of rescinded himself. He also did a similar thing. Just real quick, 808s and Heartbreaks is an album basically based on he was engaged to a girl that he was dating at a time. She called off the engagement.
Yeah.
He pieced out, rescinds himself to Hawaii, and 808 and Heartbreak comes out 2 weeks later.
2 weeks
So this
later,
is
dude.
kind of the same
Yeah.
thing.
2 weeks later.
It's amazing, and it would have been top 10 had it not come out in 2000.
100%.
So
Yeah.
this
100%.
this is great. I know I kind of touched on it a little bit before, but this is seriously Kanye West started setting the bar for we are not just rapping anymore. We are now making music. Hip hop and rap is now becoming a performance. It's not just not spoken art, which is one form of it, which is fine. When people rap over beats, it sounds great. It's awesome. Kanye West is just like, all right, we're gonna rap, but everything in the background is gonna sound like you're watching it in an orchestra.
It's gonna be
This
live.
is gonna sound like an actual music
Well, I mean,
event.
He's the top 3 producers alive.
Has to be.
Has to be.
Has to be.
Him,
But even
Pharrell,
his live
Dr. Dre.
performances.
Or Scott Storch is
Or,
another Scott Storch or Timbaland or fucking
Timberlake.
Mike Will
Timberlake.
made it or there's
Yeah.
there's
No,
so
but-
many
but-
people.
Timbaland, Pharrell, and
Timbaland is probably, I've said this before, probably made hundreds of songs that you love that you
that
never,
you
never heard
even
of,
knew
yeah.
was him, yeah.
I'll say this though, I would love to go to a Kanye West concert. Maybe not present day,
Maybe
but
not in today's
but
current
but
climate.
because he brings in the orchestra. He
Right,
brings
that's
in the
what I'm
live
saying.
music.
This is a
he brings in a
performance.
choir.
Yeah.
A choir for Jesus Walks. There's a choir. There used to be a
Yeah.
choir.
And you're probably sitting in the crowd like, this shit is fucking
like this.
I'm at an event.
Right.
I'm at an event.
It's
Like,
more than a concert. It's
So,
like it really is.
I'm not gonna get too crazy into it because it is what it is and everyone loves it. Favorite songs on mine. Devil in a New Dress with Rick Ross. One of the best songs. Lost in the World, I'm pretty sure is the second to last song on the album. It fades into Who Will Survive in America. Great song. And Hell of a Life is another great song. Also,
Life.
Monster. Awesome song.
Amazing.
Single. Nicki Minaj. I don't know if she wrote it.
Killed it.
I don't know what happened.
Killed
but
it.
absolutely obliterated
Nikki
her
writes.
verse.
Nikki writes her own
I don't
stuff.
know. I'm not saying that Nicki doesn't write her own verses, but not everyone's features are always what they write.
Right.
Some people write features for them. So whatever. Whoever wrote
50K
it,
for a
she
verse,
killed
no
it regardless.
album out.
Yeah.
Number 2. Hey, Mr. Rager.
Oh my god.
The fuck out of here. I think we said all that needs to be said about this album, but my piece on the album is that whenever I listen to Mr. Rager or Ghost, and I drive, if I'm driving, or it's it's like the sun setting, or I feel like I'm in a movie, dude. Very, like as Brian would say,
It's
atmospheric.
immersive.
It is
It's
very
a
much.
very immersive album, and it touches you in a certain way that's like you get to a different place. Like when you're listening to the song, you like you're in it, like you understand, immersive, and it's I find it few and far between where I find myself in those moments in music, and it's something that like I wish happened more.
So fortunately for me, and I mean, I think I could speak for all of us that we did have a pretty decent childhood, and we weren't put in positions where Man on the Moon 1, Man on the Moon 2, some of the stuff that he speaks about, like, and even some of the stuff that Kendrick speaks about in his album, like, we really can't get that deep and really understand it. But now, bear with me. I could imagine a kid listening to these albums going through it and being like, holy shit. Like, so if this album helped us get through dark, hard times in our lives, which may not be anywhere near hard times in somebody else's life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I wouldn't say like Kid Cudi is one of the poster boys for this album saved my life, or this artist
100,
saved
yeah.
my life, or this song saved my life. I wouldn't say that it ever did that for me.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Because I can't say that I've been that low.
That's what I'm saying.
But for as my lowest times that I've had personally, emotionally, whatever, mentally, it definitely brings you out of it. It's definitely helped me got out of my worst stuff.
Right. So I think
And that's
that
not even bad stuff, really.
right, and I think that album does it where like people can relate across different walks of life, and that's very hard to do, like you said. So
And,
basically,
one little fun fact: the "Erase Me" music video has Kevin Fogel in it from Superbad. He is part of the video.
Really?
You just
Yeah,
call him
they're-
Kevin Fogel.
Yeah, I don't know the actor's name, dude.
Is that his first name in the movie?
That was Kevin.
I thought he was just Fogel.
They
He
own-
was just
I-
Fogel, but I think his name is Kevin
Okay.
Fogel.
His name's Christopher
could be.
Mintz-Plasse.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
the
say.
name of the actor.
That's
All right.
He is part of that music video.
so here's
and
here's
they're
what I just
all
have to
the-
say before we do one. Go ahead.
I mean, they're like in a 1970s Rolling Stone band. They do like a pre-concert interview, and they're all talking like a bunch of assholes. But point being, it's a very funny music video.
Erase Me.
Erase Me music video.
All right. So number one,
Check it
right?
out.
When he's in the school.
We're gonna go through number one, but I just want to say this. So we've done a few top 10 so far, and I've noticed this trend, and we are gonna vote later, I guess, at the end of the show on what's next. But I have noticed this. So we did N64 games, right? And N64 games. Don't get me wrong, there were many made, but there weren't that many.
394.
But there weren't that many options for a top spot. Like you kind of knew
Yeah.
that there were only probably 50 to choose from, just say, where you wouldn't be outlandish. Like, come on, dude. Like, why would you choose that? And then we moved to Pokemon, and there were 151, right?
Mhm.
And now we're here, which there's thousands of albums,
Well,
right?
I think just recently, Snoop Dogg, I heard him say 30,000 new songs are released every day.
Right. So, with that being said, right, this is why I said it before number one. Number one holds so much weight on the chart, the collective chart at the end of the this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go.
It's got some power to
It's got
sway.
super
Some
power.
power to sway some
Let's get it.
dynamics. And I'm going to start tilting the fucking bar in one album's
I know
favor.
what's gonna happen.
It's Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
It's Good Kid, Mad City. And so touching on what we've already spoke about, being who we are, not you said, being suburban white kids, not really understanding the struggle. A lot of people, this is like a well-studied thing, just going all the way back to the NWA with the origins of gangster rap, where not just necessarily white people, but people who don't understand the struggle are interested in hearing.
A
It's
million %.
fascinating. It's interesting. It's a
Yeah.
different perspective on the same world.
A
we
million
live in.
%.
And people love a survival story.
Yeah.
You want to hear someone. You
wanna
want to
root-
hear someone
you wanna
succeed.
root
Yeah.
for the the underdog, the little guy. Not no pun intended with
Yeah,
Kendrick.
no, I hear you.
5'2" or whatever he is. But I don't.
I don't think you think he's 5'2". I think he's like
He is
5'5".
very
He's
He's
like
like
5'5".
Yeah,
Is
5'5".
he?
But
I
either
thought
way,
he was like
yeah.
5'3". Regardless, we spoke about it a lot at nauseum. Everyone said it already. My favorite song on the album, I mean, from 1 to 9, going from Shireen to what's right before Backseat. Why can't I think of it?
Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. Yeah.
Backseat, The Art of Peer Pressure, Good Kid, Money Trees, Good Kid, Bad City.
I think it's Money Trees, Poetic Justice, and then Good Kid, Mad City. But I could be
And,
wrong.
yeah, you
Yeah,
might
yeah.
be right. And then Swimming Pools. That whole first act of the album,
Amazing.
any one of them could be
Yeah.
my favorite.
Compton
And-
comes back and swings it in.
Yep.
Yep.
And then the only other thing that I wanted to add to this Backseat Freestyle, is it just me or after this album, everybody had their own version? Everyone tried, because didn't Earl do it?
A lot of people did it.
Everybody,
Yeah, because it's such a
everybody-
good freestyle beat.
You could find so many versions of this
Yeah.
freestyle. Earl Sweatshirts was called Drop, which I really like that freestyle too. And just this album is my number one because after it came out, this was the benchmark for me for a hip hop album.
Yeah,
Like,
you were
even-
like, this is the best
Even
album
to
that's
this
out.
day, when
right
you
now.
put something out,
Right.
I'm going to say, how does it stand up to Good Kid, Mad City? And I mean, that's all I really have to say.
That's
add
fine.
To it,
Yeah,
since we already beat it with the drum.
So here we go. I'm gonna swing it back. Number one.
Yeah, here we go.
Jimmy said it before the show started. He goes, "Your number one has five words,"
Mm.
and I didn't. I was like, "What?" I'm thinking about it. Well,
And then
my
you said,
I know what it is.
beautiful,
I know what it is.
dark,
I knew it was from
twisted
the start.
fantasy.
And I'm glad it's here.
I mean, I could go on and on of what you said. I
Yeah.
could. I'm really not going to because there's no need. I will say, low key Blame Game,
Great song.
like very
Yeah,
very good.
good
It's
song.
probably one of my more favorite songs. But oh my god, Dark Fantasy, unbelievable.
The whole album.
I mean,
All the lights.
it is
Yeah.
like Jimmy said with Good Kid. I do view other albums to this, especially Kanye, which kind of hurts him because it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no. And listen, prove me wrong, Kanye, but there's nothing you're gonna come out with now that's gonna be even close to my Dark Twisted Fantasy.
He would need to. He would need to focus solely. on
It would need.
Yeah.
He would need to change everything.
he would need
Yeah.
to leave Skeet alone.
And
Yeah,
Adidas.
leave Skeet alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave Skeet
Yeah.
alone.
So
Leave Skeet
there would be
alone.
so much that needs to be done.
Right.
But yes, I agree 100%. He has Rihanna, he has Kid Cudi, he has Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Swiss Beats, Pusha T, John Legend.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's
dude.
all-
like it just doesn't stop. So for me, it's one and like it was close, don't get me wrong, but between one Kendrick one getting in there, two or one, but I had to go with this one. So number one, Brian.
All right. So
Say it. I know what you're gonna say.
Do you?
I think so. I could be wrong, but I think I know what you're gonna say.
So for number one, I have "Damn" by
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Also at number one, I have "Damn" by Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
So
Brian. Come on.
before I get too deep into this, I'm just gonna say this: if this wasn't a top 10 for entertainment, and I had to rank this specifically on how I actually felt, these albums would rank as this: "Damn" Kendrick Lamar, 2 "To Pimp a Butterfly" Kendrick Lamar, 3 "Good Kid, Mad City," 4 "My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy."
Wait,
I truly-
that's if what?
If it was
If it was,
critically,
if I had
100%
made this list
critically.
the way that I wanted to do it, without, muddying the waters with Kendrick Lamar albums altogether, that's how it would look.
Okay.
I truly think Kendrick Lamar is the best album in the game.
I
right
muddied the
now
shit
and
out of
has
it.
been for the last 10 years. With that being said, "Damn" is an absolute great album. I like it specifically for the reasons that Hawk was saying. The beats hit much harder. There are a lot more synths on everything. He is now talking more from a position of I am on top of the throne and I am running the game.
Come and get it.
Come and get it. Good Kid, Mad City was This Is Who I Am, we're introducing. To Pimp a Butterfly was I'm pretty good at this shit. I might be getting to there. Damn is We Are Here. If you want to be better than me, you have to get up here first. And that's exactly how the album plays out. With also going back to the same themes from the last two albums that Kendrick always goes with. Doubting himself in terms of being a rapper, in terms of being famous, his family grounding him, it all follows into the same thing. I'll wrap it up quick because I know Jack's got it too. My favorite songs on here, definitely Fear. It's a great song. Production is awesome. Listening to him speak about him being afraid of losing everything at 7, 17, and 21 and talking about his life is absolutely amazing. He references growing up in Compton. He references his success on Pimp a Butterfly. And my other favorite song, Duckworth, tells the story of his you want to tell the story?
I'll tell
You can tell the story. Go ahead.
So on Duckworth, the story is, do you know who Kendrick's label is? Do you know what the label name is? It's called Top Dog Entertainment.
Right, yeah.
Anthony Top Dog Tiffith, the man
You got it.
the man who owns the label, was a gangbanger back in the day. And Kendrick's dad was named Ducky, specifically in the song.
That's what they called him in real life.
That's what they
Their
yeah.
last name's Duckworth.
So
That's
what
Kendrick's
happens
last
in
name.
this what happens in the song, and I'm not gonna go over the whole Top Dog part of it.
Just
I'm
go through, yeah.
What happens is Top Dog winds up holding up a KFC.
Yep.
And Ducky works at KFC.
Ducky's the manager.
Ducky is
Kendrick's
the
dad
manager. So Top Dog would come in multiple times, and Ducky would hook him up with
Yep,
like
give him the free
extra
food,
biscuits,
all
shit
that
like
stuff.
that.
Yep.
One day he decides to hold up the KFC, allegedly winds up killing people, right?
No.
No?
So the story is holds up the KFC. Everyone runs out except for the manager, Kendrick's dad. They knew each other, Anthony and Kendrick, like he was saying. And basically his dad said, I won't say anything. So they both made a decision that he's going to rob this place, he's not going to snitch, and he's not going to kill them. You want to tell the rest of it?
And that basically what happens is at the end of the song, he says,
Do you know what happens at the end?
Get it right.
I
So if you
know
don't
the
know it, give it
exact
to Brian.
lyric,
Get
but
it
I
right,
think
get it right,
Brian
get it
probably
tight.
So
knows.
at
I'll
the
leave
end
it
of
to
the story, so the story is that he doesn't snitch on him. He gets out with the money, right? Years pass by. Kendrick's dad and this guy meet up together again, and now he's the producer of Top Dog Entertainment. And he goes, my son raps. And they go, all right, let's hear him. And then he signs with Top Dog Entertainment and becomes Kendrick Lamar. He was originally K-Dot.
K-Dot.
Then he became Kendrick Lamar. So the end of the song, the verse that he's talking about, and the part of the album where I was listening to the story, I'll never forget, listening to the story, and it ends, and I go, well, we got to reverse it. He goes, what was it? You put two people in two different
in random predicaments, give them a soul so they can make their choices and live with it.
and what is he? I'm trying to remember.
So they choices and live with it. 20 years later, they reap on their benefits.
Yeah, you got it. You do have it.
Because if Anthony killed Ducky,
Yeah,
Top
if-
Dog will be serving life, while Kendrick grew up without a father and died in a gunfight.
Yep. It's awesome. It's a great way to.
God
the album ends.
damn.
The album ends with.
So I didn't
if
know
Anthony
that.
killed
So
Ducky, Top Dog will be serving life, and I grew up without a father and die in a gunfight. And then the album ends, and you're like, "Holy fucking shit!" And I just wanted to make sure before I brought this up, it's all verified. It's a true story, and it all happened. Isn't that fucking wild?
fucking wild.
So now let's go over the statistics real quick because we're talking
Yeah,
about
you
the
got it.
best
I didn't
rap
know.
album in the game currently, still reigning supreme, triple platinum album. Another little fun fact: Humble, the probably the biggest hit on the,
Humble,
on the
and,
album.
Humble and DNA.
Yeah.
Humble has 7 million certified song units.
It's also a diss track to Big Sean. That's why he says the "sit down, little bitch."
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone knew that, but
7 million song units. The entire album itself is all platinum. Every single song is a platinum certified song.
What the fuck?
Humble itself has 7 million, which is 3 million off, and it's still growing to this day from being diamond certified, which would be one of the only rap songs in the game that is diamond certified, which is very ridiculously hard to come by. Only rock and like old Rolling Stones albums,
Right.
diamond certified. Has won every single RIAA certified award, whether it be Dutch Album of the Year. I think didn't he win 2 Grammys for it?
probably.
I think it's 2
mean,
Grammys,
probably.
triple platinum album. I already said, and is the only rap album ever in existence to win the Pulitzer Prize for music.
Wow.
It's true, dog.
Yeah, I did know that.
Wow.
It's a great album.
It is. I mean,
His net worth is $75 million, and he's 5'6".
well, that's like
You're pretty disrespectful
like-
because I'm 5'8".
it's that.
So-
looking it up online and seeing that it says
That's their
he's
build
5'6",
weight. It's like WWE,
yeah,
the build height.
That's like fucking WWE billing Undertaker at 7 feet tall when he's.
I
really
truly believe if
6'9".
I was in WWE, I'd be billed at 5'11", but that's no here nor there. All right.
Another just
You'd be billed at 5'11", 205 pounds. Actually, nowadays you probably.
I'm
push it.
185, so take
Alright.
it easy.
So yeah,
also just
205
wanted
you'd be billed
to
at.
tack on to the end of like favorite songs. DNA, Duckworth, Humble, Element. Also
Oh,
Triple
Element.
Element's a great song.
I forgot about
Triple
Element.
X, another great song.
Yes.
A lot of those songs.
All right, so
I think we said enough here, but come at me if you want. Come at me and Brian.
no
if
one's
you
going to
want.
come at you guys for that. I think
I just want to say I'm so proud of Jack. I think his list was actually really good.
I think it was
I'm
good.
proud
Yeah,
of
it
him
was
his,
very
too.
good.
his
I'm
list
proud
was
of him
actually
too.
really good.
Yeah.
Respect.
All right, so now we got the top 10. We're going to take a break. We're going to figure it out. We're going to come back with the consensus picks. And I think for the first time in the top 10, it's going to make sense.
Yeah, we're not gonna yell as much.
Yeah.
It's a new year, and with the new year comes new resolutions. And what's going to help you complete the resolutions that you set forward for yourself this year? Inspiration. And we have just the company for you that's focused around inspiration. Head on over to staythirstyco.com and put in the code HAVOC to get 15% off on your next order. And make sure you take a look over at the Winter 2022 collection. That's staythirstyco.com. Drop the OY and focus on you.
As always, best way to support the show is to support the sponsors. You support the sponsors, you're supporting the show. You're helping us chase a dream and put out more of this content that we hope you enjoy. The numbers are in. It is time to compile the total list. Right away, we have a fucking score to settle, all right? For the 9-10 slot,
God.
for the 9-10 slot, it is a tie. This is just heads up, me versus Jack.
Okay.
What a Time to Be Alive versus Blue Slide Park. Both have 7 points. I'm gonna let you.
Well,
on
no,
this one.
I'll mediate it. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first or do you?
I'll mediate it. Thank you.
All right, go for it.
Guy doesn't know what fucking mediate means. You got 45 seconds, Jim. You're up first.
I don't know if I need all 45 seconds. First of all, Drake and Future are 2 of the hottest people in the game when they released it, not just the hottest person in their small subgenre. And on top of that, I mean, just banger after banger after banger. I just named almost the entire album when I brought it up in my list before. I could only off the top of my head name 3 or 4 songs off of Blue Slide Park. Either way, the fact that I think What a Time to Be Alive needed to be on the list regardless, and I said I would fight anybody to the fucking death on this one.
Well, there you are.
And a lot of people said no, and then went back and looked at the track listing and was like, hold on, you might be right. Let me go
Okay.
and do some research.
Whoa,
about
whoa,
this."
whoa. You're up, Jack. Don't be looking up data now. It's too late in
I'm
the
looking
game
up
for that.
data. I'm pulling up the track list.
Go ahead.
Anyway, for Blue Slide Park, which led to a generation of partying, just the boys bossing as always. It's electric, and there's certain things you can't find. I mean, to be honest with you, the battle versus What a Time to Be Alive and Blue Slide Parks, it's a hard one to fight, and you know, I feel like you probably have the upper hand on this one. I hate to say it, but I think I'm admitting defeat right now. Because
Wow.
And I'll tell you right now,
What a Time to Be Alive deserves to be higher than Blue Side Park.
when
I
you
will vouch.
when you put the artists, Mac Miller, Drake, and Future, Mac Miller I favor way higher than the other 2. But we're not talking about the artists. We're talking about the one piece of work, and I think What a Time to Be Alive.
All right, I favor
Brian?
the other 2 artists.
Out of those 2, I'd go with What a Time to Be Alive.
I'd go What a Time to
But-
Be Alive.
Like we've talked.
That's fine.
Number 10, Blue Slide Park. Number 9, What a Time to Be Alive. Number 8, Looks Undisputed. What's the Young Thug album that Jack had up there?
Damn, your number 2 spot shot it all the way up.
What was the name of that
so
album?
much fun.
Damn.
Rose gold seat. Fucking helicopter gold seats.
Why couldn't you
Alright.
rap like that when you were saying the lyrics?
Because he's not holding the microphone. He gets stage fright.
You know, when you rap, you have to hold the microphone,
He gets stage fright.
or you put it in your ear.
Go ahead.
You get stage fright.
Fright of the
Piss
moment.
running
Piss
down
running
my
down his
leg.
leg.
All right, the next one is going to be To Pimp a Butterfly with 15 points.
That's 7.
That's
Even though it should
7.
be number 1, but I skewed that the wrong way.
Number
Sorry.
6 is going to be. We might have another tie here now.
All right.
Hang with me for a minute. No, we don't. It's very close. But number 6 is going to be Scumfuck Flower Boy.
Let's go.
And number 5 by one. Flower Boy had 18 points. Number 5 with 19 points. Watch the Throne.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
I like,
Seems fair.
I like that. I'm okay with that.
Oh, hold on. I stand corrected. We have a fucking battle.
Battle.
Tied with Watch the Throne with 19 points is Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Oh, well.
No.
So let's.
I can't debate myself.
Oh.
I would have to go with Dark Twisted Fantasy because it's so much higher than Watch the Throne on my list.
I had it 1.
Yeah, I had it 2. Got to go with.
So
Just
where did you
based-
have Watch the Throne?
I Watch the Throne at 2, and
Unranked.
I had unranked Dark Twisted Fantasy. Did you guys?
got to go Watch the Throne.
Where'd Watch the But you guys all had Watch the Throne on your list, right?
I did.
I did, yeah.
I
Deep.
did not.
Deep. Did you have my Dark
I had
Twisted
it at-
Fantasy?
No.
I think 5. Let me go back.
I had it at 7.
I had it at 5. Yeah.
You had it at 5, and then you
Yeah.
had Dark Twisted Fantasy at 2.
2.
Or 1. So that's, and then you had.
Yes,
Seven.
at 1.
I
7
had
and 1.
Watch the Throne at 7, and
Yeah, so I have to give it to my Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
thank God. Feels better now.
I only feel the hostility about that from,
It still feels dirty,
Yeah.
but go ahead.
So number 3, I believe, is Undisputed. Bear with me for a second here. Number 3 is Undisputed, 24 points. Good Kid, Mad City. And now, the moment we haven't had one of these yet, we got a tie for number 1.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
You already know what it is, but
It's,
Yeah.
it's fucking Man on the Moon 2 versus Damn, both with 28 points.
yeah. I'm going with Damn,
Ah,
and the
man.
reasons are obvious.
Go with Damn,
Number
bro.
1 on the
So,
list.
It's 2 number 1s you got.
Don't get me wrong. You know what it is, and it's so weird because they're not the same type of hip hop albums when you really
Yeah,
think
they're
about it.
so hard
It's
to
easy
compare.
to say, oh, they're both hip hop albums, but we are just one's introspective, battling with substance
As
abuse
much as I'd like
and
to
self
have,
doubt, and one is I'm the best in the world at rapping right now. With
One is I
some
don't know who
self-doubt.
I am, and
Yeah.
I'm finding out who I am again. I'm like a rebirth
Yeah.
almost. And the other one is I know who the fuck I am
Yeah.
finally. After
Do
all
you know
this
who the
time.
fuck I am?
Yeah,
Because you
exactly.
should. Yeah.
So here's what I'll say. I want there to be like a hot debate over this. I just feel like Damn needs to be 1 and Man on the Moon 2 needs to be 2.
I agree. I think Damn
I
needs to be
do-
1.
I
and Man
kind
on
of
the
feel
Moon needs
that
to
way
be
too, even though I left Damn off my list. And
But
put
why
Man-
did you leave Damn off the list?
Because I didn't want to put Kendrick on
Same
thrice.
reason I did.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But now looking at it in totality here, now we're here. Now we're at this point. Forget that point.
If you had listed Damn on your list, would it be higher than Man on the Moon too?
Probably not, because I wouldn't have had Damn above To Pimp a Butterfly. I put
Mm,
Damn out because I had Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City in.
Gotcha.
Kendrick only lost against Kendrick. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I guess if Damn made it over Butterfly, it'd be in 5 or 4. But I don't know if it would beat Man on the Moon for me.
Okay.
But it is what it is. I have no problem. I can't sit here and argue with you about Damn
Right.
being a.
That's
you
what I'm saying.
know,
It's
like
a hard
I've
argument.
used
yeah.
this metaphor before. I think on Parlez-Vous, it's like ice cream, like strawberry ice cream, vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream. You have a preference, but at the end of the day, you're gonna take whatever's
fucking
given
ice
to
cream.
you. You know,
Yeah.
it's still fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem, especially because it was so unanimously higher on everybody else's list, putting Damn at number 1.
Yeah, I think we should. I'm okay with that.
I'm totally okay.
I mean,
with
obviously this side of the room was okay with it.
that.
All right, so here's the list as it stands. Number 10 is Blue Slide Park. Number 9 is What a Time to Be Alive, Drake and Future. Number 8 is So Much Fun, Young Thug. Number 7, To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar. Number 6 is Scumfuck Flower Boy, Tyler the Creator. Number 5 is Watch the Throne, Jay and Ye. Number 4, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Ye. Number 3, Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar. Number 2, Man on the Moon 2, The Legend of Mr. Rager, Kid Cudi. Number 1, Damn, Kendrick Lamar. As we predicted 2 weeks ago, dominated by Kendrick.
Mhm.
I expected more Drake on this list, but that's fine with me because I'm not a huge Drake guy.
The
Not a
way
huge Drake
you know what
guy,
it is, I view Drake less as a rapper and
More
more,
of a
as
pop star?
He's an artist.
Yeah.
He just makes music that the mass population of people will like, but he's good enough for rapping where niche hip hop fans can be like, "This isn't that bad."
Remember when you said
When Drake wants it, Drake gets it. Like,
Oh,
if
no,
you-
he-
if you-
110%.
If you put him on an all gangster rap and trap style album,
He will be
he'll
fine.
go fucking
He will
get
be
it.
fine.
But
He's
if-
an artist.
if we
Yes.
did top 10 artists of this time period,
Drake would probably
Drake
be
would
in the top.
definitely
Drake would be in the
be in
top
my
3, I
list.
think.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Without
So
a
it's
doubt.
not. It has nothing to do with that. But like how you were saying how, I forgot who you were saying it about.
What?
Was it about Future? How he's putting too much work out?
Future releases like 3 to 4
Right.
albums a year.
And it's the exact opposite with Kendrick. Like
right.
you,
And it's funny because I saw this online. Outkast was known for having very long periods of time in between their albums, and Andre 3000 talks about it. He's like, we needed time in between making music to experience
To
life
live,
and
yeah.
grow on things, so we can make new things. The problem I think with Future is if you're constantly making the same thing over, you're not making
Growing as an
There's no
artist.
new information coming in. You're
Right.
just doing the same thing.
Right.
So that's
No,
how I always feel.
and I agree with
The
that.
long
yeah.
gaps between albums suck
Of
for
course.
fans. But
People are
when
clamoring
but
for them, and
the thing that comes out of it is usually well worth it.
It's like
Right.
the same thing with comics. If you're putting specials out every year or every 10 months and it's every year, it takes a long time to get an hour perfected that you're going to put out as a special. If all you're doing is putting out specials 10 to 12 to 14 months, you stop living life. You
Right.
run out of experiences and then you run out of material. Very similar to music. I think comedy and music in a lot of ways go together. You know, not go together, but like the creative process is similar, you know, like it's the reason what's his face got stopped doing comedy. The guy from Cheaper by the Dozen,
Can't remember.
The dad in Cheaper by the Dozen, Steve Martin.
Yeah, Steve Martin. I was
Steve Martin stopped doing stand up because people would laugh no matter what because he was Steve Martin. He could go out there and be like, you know,
say something stupid. Yeah,
this chair that I'm sitting on is comfortable, and people would laugh. And
Right.
he's like, he literally said to
Yeah.
himself, I got to stop because I don't know if they're going to laugh no matter what. I'm not getting anything good out of this. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
I think comedy is a little. I agree with you in the creative process, but I think
you need to live life to get
comedy.
the
I think
material.
comedy relies too much on current events at this point in life, and that's what kind of bothers
Depending
me.
on the artist, you could argue music too.
A lot of the artists I listen to are very, very current event based, especially when you see them live. But that's a time for a different.
To cover back on what Brian said about the large gaps in like albums, with Kendrick, it's weird because Damn came out and then there wasn't really anything until Black Panther came out,
Yeah.
and then the Black Panther album came out, which was kind of good.
It wasn't
Like,
really a Kendrick album.
It wasn't. He.
You're
It
right.
was. He
It was
facilitated
new
it.
He
music.
curated it.
He
right?
curated it, yeah.
110%. He's on songs. Yeah.
And then after that came out, there was another gap, and then Baby Keem, his cousin, put out an album recently, and then the song "Family Ties" came out, and that became a platinum hit in I think 2 weeks.
I'm not sure yet, but I mean, I wouldn't. Be
It was
surprised. It's
it
Kendrick
top
Lamar,
charts
blah,
as
blah,
soon as it came out. So it's not like the volume isn't necessarily there. It's more of a like, what's next? And after
Yeah.
after talking about Damn, like I'm on top of the game. You know, like how how the album is, how we see it.
blah. Yeah.
What has changed? Who, you know?
I think his next album's going to be much more politically focused. I don't know what he's going to rap. I don't know what he's going to rap about in terms of where he's at because everyone knows he's the best. However, it is coming soon. I don't know if anyone saw this. He put something out on Twitter, letting everyone know that this is going to be his last album on Top Dog Entertainment. So if he's putting it out now, it's probably coming sometime this year.
Yeah.
I would assume.
And that's top. That's the last of Top Dog.
It's not the last of Top Dog. They still have.
No. I'm sorry.
Last
sorry.
of his albums produced on Top Dog.
That-
It sounds like he might start producing his own.
Okay,
starting
so
his
he's
own
not.
production
He might
company.
not be done rapping.
He's not
entirely.
done rapping.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
just
done
gonna start
having his
Tate-
albums
Tate
produced.
Out
Yeah,
Entertainment
he's
or
gonna.
whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So
before we get to the closing segment here, I just wanted to give a quick shout out. It's the decade doesn't fit, right? And this guy he does solo work, but as far as doing albums for this decade, he obviously wasn't going to get spoken about. Juicy J and the 666 Mafia, shout out
Yeah.
shout out to the only gangsters in the world that also have an Oscar. They have an Oscar for Best Original Song for Hustle and Flow. It's Hot Outside.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's Hot Outside for. Isn't that
Hard
the,
Out Here for a Pimp. That's
Hard
all.
Out Here for a
I
Pimp?
could be
Is that-
wrong,
It's
but-
the original song from Hustle and Flow.
I know what you're
forget-
talking about. Yeah.
They are the only gangster rappers that also have an Oscar. And Juicy J, feature king during this decade. Every time he
Yeah.
does features, you love him. You forget that he's over 50 at this point, right?
I didn't even know that, to be honest.
You think I think he's
find out.
pushing 50, if not over 50. And I brought up ONIFC all the way at the top of the show. 2 favorite songs on there. Great Juicy J features.
Yeah.
Another thing I just want to tack on. I'm not gonna put them against each other, but I also feel like Future is a feature king because
46.
Yeah.
Can you look up the song from Hustle and Flow? Yeah, Future is a feature king.
I feel now that you look at it, however much music he puts out on his own doesn't compare to when he does a feature or when he does an album with somebody. And I think that's weird because Lil Uzi Vert was only in my honorable mentions, but him and Future put out an album recently, 2020. And I like that album, but that's a lot of Future stuff. Like it's very trap beat, very trap hip
It's also a
hop.
lot of that dun 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 dun.
It's hard out here for a pimp.
It's hard out here for a pimp. Yeah.
But his pacing changes a little bit to just to Uzi, but it's weird when you see what his solo work looks like compared to what he does when he collaborates with other artists.
Yeah, but you
Like
can
the
say that about a lot of
quality.
people.
Yeah.
Very true.
All right, so now we've done this. I feel good about this one. Honestly, I do. So now you're saying you got a surprise
Yeah, you
for
got
us
things to
to
talk
close
about.
out the show that we don't know about.
We
We're gonna
had-
find out.
We had, by the way, now officially across, as far as I'm concerned, the socials that matter: Instagram, TikTok, and now Twitter. HOH Podcasting.
Found you.
Same account, same handle across all 3. Go find us there. Interact with us. We're doing things to try to get people involved. One of these things was we put up a poll listing the top 10s we've already done, looking for suggestions. Got a couple of answers. So we're going to take 2 that I thought were interesting right now. The 3 of you are going to vote. Keep the numbers odd. It's going to be 2-1 one way or the other. Zeke Kabinski, our good buddy Zeke, hit me with fast food menu items.
I like that. Okay.
Goo Raftis hit me with top 10.
Cool. Yeah.
Goo Raftis hit me with top 10 current NBA players. And that's the one I said we would be screaming at each other over. Because that's one we're all on an even playing field with for sure. So, fast food menu items, current NBA players. You got to pick one.
I already know what they're both going to pick, so I'll just go whatever they pick.
Jesus.
I'm gonna go fast food.
No, you're not.
I am.
Fast
I am.
dude.
I am.
Oh my
He
God.
just doesn't
He's
want to
such
pop
a
a blood
liar.
vessel.
I am. I'm going with fast food.
Why? You're not.
How do I
NBA
submit my vote? My vote is in.
Dude, one
It's
for
fast
You're not
food.
going with NBA players?
I know that it would be a fight, and I know that people would love to watch us argue. And trust me, I'd kill you all. Because maybe not him, but he knows how.
Kill me.
He know.
Like, oh, Devin Booker is so good.
See, it would be a fight instantly.
hate him.
Booker
It-
sucks.
It would be a fight. It would be an
Devin
instant
Booker
fight.
sucks.
But that's fine. We're not gonna get into that right
What
now.
are you picking, Jack?
But fast food, in my opinion, opens it up to so many more people.
Well,
to-
Jimmy,
to
let me
watch.
ask you
I
a
agree.
question.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming.
We're getting a little deeper here in the NBA season, right? Obviously, we have content that could be made.
Right.
Why don't we hold off on this? I will go fast food items because we're getting to a point in the NBA season where it's
I was giving them what they wanted, and I got what I wanted.
I-
Fast food,
That's
baby,
the way it
let's
works,
go.
dude. Alrighty. So this comes out on
Think
April
you guys
5th,
know that already,
this
huh?
episode. So fast food items, that's coming out on
19th.
April 19th, Brian's birthday.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there rules? Can we help me?
As
Help me.
far as what?
We've had to try the item. The item can or cannot be seasonal. I need answers. Can it be a drink? Can it be food?
No,
Yeah.
I think keep it the way it is now. Just
What do you mean?
Open.
Yeah.
not soft serve drinks. So I feel
If
like
anybody says In and Out and no one's been to In and Out, then I'm kicking somebody.
that's fair.
Yeah, no, you have to.
Yeah,
have
that's
eaten it.
fair.
You have to have
You've
eaten
had
it.
to eat. Okay.
Don't fucking tell
Here's
me
my-
a number one from In-N-Out Animal Style if you don't even know what animal style is. I agree.
Right. Okay.
You
Good.
have to
I-
have eaten it.
okay.
Here's the thing, my gripe with like soft serve items. What about the Shamrock Shake, dude?
Shamrock Shake's a home run, dude.
And that's a seasonal item.
Soda. Shamrock Shake would probably be on my list.
No.
He meant soft drinks, not soft
Nope.
serve.
Oh,
I meant,
all right.
I like
You said
Coke.
No.
Like
no.
pe-
no.
like
You know what I could really go for, dude?
Yeah.
A Diet Dr.
Give me a
Pepper.
fucking Sprite.
Yeah.
McDonald's
So.
Coke is better than any other
Yeah.
Coke, bro. It's
the
goated.
syrup.
It's goaded.
And I just want to say this, and I don't want to make it a big thing. You think Devin Booker's a top 10 player? You paused. You paused.
like no.
You paused. Do you think he's a top 10 player?
Devin Booker
I'll
has
get back
never
to you
won
next
more
week.
than 32 games on a team that didn't have Chris Paul on it. Check me.
Devin Booker's also scored 70 points in a game.
What does that mean? Jimmy Fredette scored 111.
In college. There's your preview.
Yeah,
The
you
fuck
might as well do
does
the
that
NBA one
mean,
too.
dude?
And I'm not saying Booker's in my top 10, but I'm saying he's damn sure close. Okay? You know, we had a. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, don't
I'm
do
not
it.
going to do it. All
Get
right.
outta here.
Go ahead. That's the show.
That's the show. 2 weeks time from right now on April 19th. We will be doing
I'm glad
fast.
this is coming out on my birthday.
We're gonna be doing fast food items. No, fast food items.
Oh.
This one comes out on the 5th.
I'm gonna be a fat boy on my birthday.
Hey, it is what it
It
is.
is what it is.
We should eat fucking food. We should eat some.
You know how
fast
bad
food,
that would
too,
smell in here.
while we're doing it.
All right. I mean, I'll do it, but.
All right. So as always, we're brought to you by House of Havoc Podcasting, Tiger Pack Productions, Sachi Di Dinero, and Stay Thirsty Company. Peace out.
Peace.